No. I simply asked. I said, I wish I could have this. Dry bacon. Well, I mean, you know what that is.
Everybody, Sarasota, Tim, rise and shine. I'm up early this morning doing morning chat at 6:22 because I'm ready to crush it at the beach this morning. I'm going to go ahead and I like it over there, man. I'm going to go back over there and walk. You have no problem getting over there, crossing the bridge, naming your own parking spot early in the morning. And there's all these other walkers, and it's just a nice path. It's what it's made for. And then you got the Gulf of America right there and everything else. I'm going to go over there. And it's just as far as driving over to Nathan Benderson or the University Mall, of course, which doesn't open until later. It's nice to have the air conditioning, but it's not bad early in the morning. So, and being outside, get that vitamin D too. So when that sun starts to come out, you get a little color. I might even take my shirt off and put on a little grease, some sunblock on my nose. So I got a little cup of coffee brewing here. I had one already, as you can tell. And I finished up my half and half.
Hey, everyone. How's it going? Just wanted to catch up with everybody in the court case because I know they wanted to know. So first we're going to watch Tim, and we're just going to look at that. And then if we reach our goal, I'll reveal more about what Tim said during the case. But otherwise, I'm just going to share the results of the docket and we'll call it a day. So let's carry on with Tim. Hope everyone's having a great day.
And now, I mean, my heavy whipping cream, I bought the little one to try it again, and it was obviously delicious. But we're going to, go with this, see what happens. Isn't this cheaper too? And I bought one before that was, what do you call those special ones? Organic. This is just regular old half and half from Winn-Dixie, I think. I got some really high quality meat here. These are actually rated the best you can buy if you want to eat hot dogs, and they're darn good. I just threw them in the microwave. I could put them in the cremator and put the mustard to it. And I mean, so, I am on the carbivore diet. I've been pretty good on the carnivore part of it. The carbs, the other day when I had dinner with Fred and Raffaella, she had those baked cookies, and boy, I had one of each. It was an oatmeal raisin, and then there was a chocolate chip. And Fred, he's just like me. He is very, very particular about his cookie, and he likes them crunchy. So he likes them in the oven a little longer.
So Tim put out this video saying it was at 6:22 this morning, and he was not there.
Nice and burnt. That's the way I like mine too. And when I had one the other day, oh my gosh, you crunch it off, eat little bites of it. It's so good with coffee. But got to be good. I've been good for a couple of days. Almost done. I make the 1 cup, 1 scoop with 1 bottle of water, and normally comes.
Sorry, I didn't realize I didn't have my microphone there. I'm so sorry, guys. As I was saying, if I reach goal today, I will reveal everything. If I do not reach goal, I will let everybody know in the members only. I'll show the docket today, but that's it. Thank you, Miss Vicky. Thank you, Miss Vicky. I appreciate that. Miss Vicky already knows the answer. No. Well, the repeat is, if I reach my goal today, I'll tell you everything about Sarasota Tim. Otherwise, that's just for the members only, guys. And we'll talk about the case. But I'm a streamer, and I stream for making a living. And so I know you guys have fun with it. But like and subscribe is great. But, showing support for streamers that you appreciate is even better.
It's a little light, but I intentionally almost put the same amount of coffee I do with 2 bottles of water. So this isn't going to be light. Let's check it out. Off. Oh, yeah. I did good. That's actually perfect. Oh, yeah. Gold, baby. Fill her up to the rim. Get all ready to go out there and walk. Let's try it out. I got good color on that half and half, as you can see. Yep. Plenty warm. Let me see. Okay. Honest review. A little lighter, but absolutely good. You saw how much I poured. I knew to be a little heavy hand. So you can taste it, baby. Let's turn it heavy whipping cream. Folks, that's the best cup of coffee I ever drank in my life. Man, that's good coffee. That's it, McCaffey. Man, I'm crushing right through it too. I've got some decaf back there. And of course I've got.
Yes, anybody can see the docket, but not everybody can tell you what Sarasota Tim said to the judge.
Carolina Craig's coffee in there that he sent me from the Human Being.
Carol.
So I'm not out, baby. I'm not out.
And these are members who'll find out anyway. So thank you, guys.
Start walking like crazy. And let's talk a little bit about travel this morning. All right. So, I've been reading all your comments for the last couple of days.
No, it's just that I'm a streamer and this is a great story. And if you want to hear the great story, then you're going to have, I'm going to ask to hear the great story. Otherwise, I reveal the great story to members only, not to the general public. We're just watching Tim lie because Tim is trying to make out that he's standing in his Flagstaff at 6 o'clock this morning. And obviously he wasn't. He was somewhere close to Virginia Beach getting ready to look like trash and showing up in the courtroom. So the win is the fact that Sarasota Tim had to drag himself from Florida. Remember that, guys. Nobody likes a false copyright flagger on YouTube. So anytime that we can take these people and drag them into a courtroom to stop their behaviors on this platform is a win for me. But the fun part of the story, yeah, we're gonna have a monetary goal for that today, guys. Abso-freaking-lutely.
Regarding, congratulations, you love the camper. I mean, literally everyone. You were tickled pink.
I appreciate it, Chris.
You ain't the only one. Very, very excited.
That's right.
It really did pay off.
Thank you, Chris.
All those ads I looked at, and
we got like a few more to go.
Scams and whatever. And I found these two guys. They're super nice guys. Great deal they hooked me up with. I mean, literally like almost wholesale. So I feel.
Yes. Hey.
I can.
Hey, that's the win. Hey, Beth, that's the win, though. Belts 38. That is the win. If you can't defeat him, I don't know who can. I gave Tim fatigue and I'm taking a break. All the best to you in the group. Peace. Hey, we're all going to be taking a break from Sarasota Tim. Thank you, Chris. We really need this. Yeah, we just need this thing to end. Yes, exactly. And I'm trying to have it come to a great end because obviously nobody likes a false copyright flagger on the YouTube platform. Sorry, I wasn't quite ready when I started the stream and I didn't want to run any later. I was making a cocktail, guys, because it's been a tough day. But yes, we do need to get to goal for me to tell every detail about this case. Otherwise, that's just going to go to members only. I'm sorry, guys. I've worked really hard on this case and, I've watched, I've worked really hard to take Tim and bring him to a courtroom in the Commonwealth of Virginia to answer to the constant copyright flags that he gave me. And nobody likes these people on YouTube. I don't care how many times people want to say it's Tim's material and this, that, and the other. Maybe you aren't the audience who understands the modern world of streaming. And that's part of what I'm here to educate people about. Is that when you have content creators on YouTube, such as myself, who make commentary, who do reactions on bad actors like Tim, here's this guy. He's so ashamed of himself and being taken to a court by me that he literally had to make up videos saying that he's standing in Florida this morning and pre-recorded videos to do that. That's somebody who's completely ashamed. So the only win is this community. Yeah. Hey, Thomas, come on in. Yeah, Judy. Yeah. It did go well. It did go well. Thank you so much for that support. I really appreciate it, guys, because we're finishing up with Sarasota Tim. So all the support that you show me, he sees it and he hates every freaking minute of it. Okay. So if you really want to, yay, come on in, Alan B. Good. He wants to hear. People want to hear what happened in this courtroom. Well, we got to get to goal, guys. We're getting close, though. We're getting close. We've had, I can't even remember what I said for goal. But I'll make sure we get to goal. Maybe I need to check my thing. And I'd love to talk more, but we got to keep talking about Tim first. Thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate that. I want you to keep flagging. Well, I don't know. I told him I would keep making commentary, but I don't want to tell all the stories until we reach goal, guys. I got to make this fun. I got to make sure that my trolls really talk about me today, too.
Speaking of Carolina Craig.
Yay! Hey, pumpkin
I feel
lover.
like I can use this thing for a year or 2 years or whatever.
Yes, the verdict was rendered.
And still come out pretty good. So it's just money I've parked. It's not anything like with the KLX where I lost.
We did get to a verdict, but we have to remember that Tim thought he was going to get a WebEx, and he flagged my channel 11 times. And fortunately, I have statutes in Virginia that allows me to bring people into courtrooms, which I used. And Tim was unsuccessful in getting a WebEx. So he had to travel and spend money to finally come to court. Now, did I win in court? We'll find out. I think a lot of people know. But the win is the fact that my channel is still here. I successfully fought 11 false copyright flags from this malicious actor. This guy is having to make up a video that he's standing in his Florida camper for his audience. This is just how narcissistic this guy is. If you don't think this is a win, I don't know what is.
Lost my tail. But between doing okay on the Gold Wing and a few other things, I mean, in the end, the wash, I'm
still a great day.
So it's pretty cool. But
it's still a great day.
The coolest thing is, even if I don't get my money back, the coolest thing is it's a mini. I'll call it a mini already. It's the Crasher 2, and it's the same build quality. It looks the same except shorter. I don't have the front window, but you can tell it's a Flagstaff, and everything is so nice in it. I can't pick it up yet because they definitely are doing something to the door for me. And thank you for all your tips that you talked about, like with the smoke alarm. Now they have a battery, but probably the batteries outside are hardwired to it as well, maybe. So I'm going to look into that. And they're trying to take care of everything for me. I'm just waiting on the paperwork. There's no tag, and
great. I'm sure Tim's having some. You just can't boondock anywhere in Virginia. So we are 5 of our goal, guys. So we are halfway to goal. Okay, to hear everything about what happened in court today. Otherwise, these wonderful people are going to hear it in members only tonight, or I'll go straight to members only to let them know what happened. Whichever one do you guys tell me. Members will tell me whether you guys want me to go tonight and let you guys know everything that happened in the courtroom, or if you want me to do it later on, like straight away or later on. You guys get the choice. If I don't reach goal by the end of this live stream. If I reach goal, yeah, it's good to go. Yeah, Jeannie wants to get to goal. I want to get to goal too. I never ask for goals, guys. I rarely ask for goals. And I saw a guy who got a false flag from a channel called The Quartering, who we're going to start covering soon, Jeremy Hambley. He is running around YouTube, false flagging everybody who makes any commentary. And so all of the commentator community is going to start making commentary about this gentleman because he's behaving like Tim. He is behaving like somebody who believes that he can't. You cancel the party at the Hunt Room? No. Wait, you canceled the party? Oh no. Can we still have a party though? Can we not still have a party, Greg? I don't know why we have to cancel that party. I still want that party. Can we still have the party? We can invite Tim now that we know he's in Virginia Beach. Thank you, Swamp Peeper. I appreciate you becoming a member. Goal is 10 super chats. Yes, it is. And how often do I say that? This guy last night, he put out his goal. This is only what inspired me. He got false flagged. It's a channel called Camelot. Great guy. He gave me a couple of really nice shout outs. Even I sent him a super. And because everybody was supporting him because he had been falsely flagged by this guy, Jeremy Hambley. And everybody knows that's just bad juju on YouTube. It's just you don't do that to other creators. You're all going to get people. I've had people already making commentary about my trial this morning. It's going to happen. I have plenty of trolls. Now, when they get to a point where they're actually sort of wanting to come and stalk me, that's a whole different matter. Okay? Trolling is one thing. Saying you're going to go and stalk somebody at their property or start doxing their home addresses or whatever, that's completely different. I've never doxed Tim's home address. I've never done anything. Tim was hilarious today, though. You're going to want to get to goal, guys, to hear this. Okay, keep going, Tim. Let's hear about how you're having the best time ever.
I don't have the registration or whatever. I can't go anywhere. until I get all my paperwork. I definitely want to, tow it and check her all out that way.
Thank you, Cocktail Slipper. Oh, he'll still be exposed.
Got the trailer hitch already, and that's ready to go. That was very inexpensive. And we're gonna talk about going somewhere northeast, south. Well, no south.
Hold on, guys.
And probably not east. We're going north or west. That's it. I'm gonna go see Timmy Appleseed. Oh, that's good. That's good. In the travels, Laughlin is a beautiful place. The desert Southwest Arizona. In the next couple of months, absolutely gorgeous. No more triple digits. It'll be down. So I'll be looking at the weather to eventually go in that direction. And the truck, I'm just so happy I kept my truck and didn't do anything stupid. In fact, Texas Auto Value or whatever they're called that bought my Honda Accord never responded to me. If you call them, you'll get that young lady who answers the phone for them, and you tell them you want somebody to call you about buying your vehicle, but nobody did. And that was a little disappointing for me. I know they're in business, and I know they do buy still, and they know I'm a previous customer. I mean, they could have said, we don't buy trucks, or being interested, or
I will be back. I just spilled a drink.
Screw yourself. Anything.
I'll be back.
I didn't say nothing. But I think that was meant to be, just like a few days back when we were searching for a camper and, nobody was responding, or I was getting those scams, and I ended up funneling myself into this little gym. So couldn't be happier. So I don't have much more to report right now, except I'm just very anxious and chomping at the bit to get over to the beach and walk and things like that. So we'll get you some more videos up soon. You'll be getting the tour of the interior and all that. I'm waiting to see it again too, man. It's been a few days. They told me that this guy had a couple other things that work for them that do RV repairs. Maybe he got to order something. I don't know what it is, but the door has got an issue, and I don't want to have to just deal with that and not know what I'm doing, or somebody said it needs to be shimmed or whatever. It was probably in a collision. It's got a salvage title on it. Just kidding. But it is very weird. I mean, dang, you have no idea. I'm not exaggerating. You can't close the door. All right. You can, but it's barely. I bet a lot of people would give up. It's like you have the deadbolt there out and you can't close it. It's that hard. So
then why did you get that camper? Sorry, guys. I had a whole entire drink with tomato juice in it, and I just spilt the whole entire. I didn't have much space, and I went to do something and I knocked it. So I'm commenting and trying to stay here, so I apologize. Just one heck of a day.
Oh, we'll fix it up. They'll tighten the hinges, take it off, put it on, do something I know nothing about, but it's going to be great. And then when that's done, with the wax job on it, oh man, I'm going to be crushing it.
Oh,
hey, good morning.
I don't know about that, Tim. I mean, I guess sorry. Let me make sure I'm back on the screen. Sorry, guys. Let me find a towel. Hold on. Oh, gosh. Oh, my goodness. Sorry about that. The good news is just clean up. Yes. Well, it's tomato juice and it's all over the place. And so, oh my goodness. Oh, I love tomato juice. And I've never knocked a drink here before. That's a first. And of course, it just went all over the floor. So let me get the next video up that Tim put up. And I'll continue. And hopefully we'll reach goal. Tim crushed that case. Yeah, he looked like he was crushing not a lot of anything, to be honest. Remember, Tim had to come all the way up from Florida to Virginia, which he never wanted to do. And to actually have somebody who has been so malicious to another creator have to face some type of accountability is a win, in my opinion. Because at this point, he's not issued a single copyright, and he knows clearly what will happen. So Tim was really good YouTuber. He would be out filming. Yeah, he's not going to film anything in Virginia Beach, not one thing. And Virginia Beach is a beautiful city. And you're never going to see one thing from Tim about Virginia Beach, not one. He's that ashamed. So even if the outcome was good, the fact that Tim behaves the way he does on this platform is what's so appalling. He's an absolute low-cow. This is like the worst type of behavior. As much as his, will you revisit your chats? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. There's one guy who's out there taking ivermectin, girl. It's all about health. Yes, it's going to be health topics. There's a guy who started a keto diet, and supposedly he's slamming alcohol and Xanax. A lot of people don't realize if you're still taking tablets or pills or anything, they actually have carbohydrates in them. So you're never going to go into ketosis. Okay. So, and people don't understand that about medications. So I have a lot still to address. So yes, medical misinformation is always going to be here. There's a gentleman trying to cure his cancer with ivermectin. Okay. I have so many people with so much medical misinformation. So I just want to start talking more about these different people and addressing, and we'll have a rotation of characters. We're not just going to focus on one creator. We're going to focus on lots of different creators on this platform who I believe are not doing great stuff. Okay, I got to get back to my floor, guys. Hold on. Let me put this next video up. Here he is on the road again, and now he's Florida bound. So this is probably about the only correct anything. How is he Florida bound? Where were you on the road to, Tim? How does this make sense? He said he was on the road again, and then he says he's Florida bound. What? None of this makes sense. Of course not, because he was in a courtroom in Virginia Beach this morning. But Tim is never going to say that. Okay, let's see if he's 1.5, guys. Yes. Okay, take it away, Timmy. I got to clean my floor.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Sarasota Tim. Checking in with you. I'm back, and I'm back to stay. I'm back, and I'm back in a big way. Well, tomorrow, I'll be arriving. I've been out of town. I'll be arriving back in town, and I'm going to stop and grab Crash or 2 and take it home and work on that door and a couple of other things that I want to try and do myself. I didn't want to make something bad worse, so I told him, don't worry about it. I saw some YouTube videos on maybe how to adjust it or something, and somebody else said they know something about it. So that's what I'm going to do. And so that's that. I have been gone for a few days. I had a personal matter that I had to take care of, and that's behind me now, and we're all good. So sorry, I was out, and personal things are personal things. So I know I tell everybody everything about my life on here, but not everything. But it's 96 degrees, traveling down the freeway.
Well, Tim, it's not personal because everybody knows you were going to court with me. Everybody. He says he's been out of town. Yeah, but remember, he released a video this morning saying he was in his crasher at 6:22 a.m. So it doesn't make any mistake. Yeah, Tim may never see that on YouTube plaque. Oh, yes. I don't think Tim is ever going to see his YouTube plaque, guys. It's never going to happen. We're getting closer to goal, though. Am I being heard? I'm so sorry. Keep going, Tim. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to spill my drink, guys. This has been a catastrophe. But, hey, I'm taking it with my grace and stride.
Here, driving back. I won't make it home tonight. I've been driving all night. My hands went on the wheel. But I'll get a room tonight. And I want to thank for my travel. I have some sponsors, Police Don and Hilton.
Oh, Police Dawn, of course. Of course, Police. Sorry, I keep trying to take the camera off so you won't see me like loading up the washing machine back here. But I keep forgetting, guys. No, he'll never be honest. Personal matter. The matter is that Tim is a malicious copyright flagger on YouTube and personal things. Yeah, exactly. Because Tim is just he really thinks he's that much of a bowl of chips. So if you guys want to continue sponsoring me, we're almost at goal. We're 6 of 10. So we've only got 4 more to go. It's $80. Who can crack that up? $100 donation would do it. All right, keep going, Tim. Where's
Tom came through for me to arrange for me hotels for this little journey I went on. So a huge shout out to both Police Don and Hilton Tom. Thank you very, very much. And, it's just great to have a community that realizes that they know things, they got ears, they got eyes, they know fact from fiction, they know truth from false. And they also know and respect other people's business, and that not everything is necessarily has to be shared with the world. But anyway, that was the update. I am absolutely starving to death, thirsty, and I can definitely go for something. But I'm in one of those spans here on the freeway that, what does that say? Lewisburg. I don't know. I'm in an area where you don't have McDonald's on every exit, and there isn't very many exits. I think I see one coming up on my GPS. Maybe there's something there. Wow. I have to go. I didn't even realize I've been acting like I got gas. Woo! I forgot all about it. I'm getting it right now. Crush it.
All right, you guys. So today we're going to be talking about Andrew Wilson, and we briefly talked about him a little.
Sorry about that, guys. I'm trying to get all this stuff. Thank you. Thank you so. Hold on, let me go back, guys. Oh, thank you for all your efforts in exposing the Florida con man. You still won. Thank you, Steve. Yes, I still feel like I won. This is the win. This guy being that ashamed to not be able to say anything, had to travel. Right, but he didn't really do any travel. He could have actually made some content, but he's so ashamed to be a malicious copyright flagger who's been exposed on YouTube that he couldn't do it. Sorry, I'm sorry. I got to get these. I have the messiest thing I could have spilt, guys. Really. It's just I'm still trying to work on it. So I feel like we don't donate that we're exceeded. Well, I'm so sorry. I'm sure at some point I would reveal it later on. I have, Tim has sponsors. I'm getting sponsorship today for my channel. It's the first time I've put up goals. There was a gentleman I was watching last night. His goal was 500. I never put out goals like that. I wouldn't do that to my audience. All right, let's see. Tim's talking about the crusher.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Sarasota, Tim. Check that out. And if I reset it, it'll probably be 19. When I drove around the city where I got to where I was going, I drove around the city a lot, and I came back down. But coming up on the highway, it said 19. This thing is getting 18 miles per gallon on the highway at 70 miles an hour. That's a heck of a lot better than 8. So I'm very excited about what kind of mileage, I might get pulling a little camper. It only weighs
Does he even have a camper on the back of his truck? Hey, thank you, Sammy. I appreciate it. Thank you. Dr. Falcon talking about you in Kentucky. Yeah, I'm sure. I don't pay any attention to those misogynists, but thank you. Kentucky Todd, he's, I don't speak with him. And so, yeah, sorry. I'm so sorry to keep having to pop back and forth. It's tomato juice all over my hardwood floors, guys. So I'm trying to be as quick as I can. And it's worse than I thought. So I'm going to keep letting Tim play.
A couple 1,000 pounds. So anyway, I got off on, 2 exits already, only to find that they didn't have anything. You ever get off on those exits? It's just like some old dilapidated gas station. There's no eateries. It's not a big exit. There's no hotels, motels, nothing. Well, that's what you get here on I-95 through this area. Nothing. So I did stop and get gas. You saw I panicked. And when I saw the price, I was like, you're kidding me. $4 a gallon. I haven't paid $4, I don't know, ever in Florida. It's been years. So $4 was painful. So I put $25 in, and I've got 153 miles until I'm empty. I'm sure I'm going to pass another gas station, and anything has got to be better than that. Maybe, I don't know where I'm at. South Carolina, maybe. There is no North Carolina. There is no good deals on gas. So it is what it is. I'm not going to walk, but man, I thought I was going to run.
If you don't think, sorry guys. He's saying yes. South Carolina probably has some of the cheapest gas I can think about. What happened? The Hunt Room opens at 4 p.m. We canceled the private reservation. How we'll be around 5 p.m. It's just an informal gathering. We're in town visiting friends. Sorry. Hey, you are okay. That's okay. You are okay. And if you are all visiting with your friends in town, I'm going to let you visit with your friends. Greg, tell me if you ever get back down again, though. And we'll do that. And we'll organize a meet and greet over there. And just get everyone over to the Hunt Club. I'll have to talk to somebody over there, though. Okay, let me keep going. Miss Vicky is sweet. And I'm sorry, guys. I hate the fact that I have all this stuff on my table. It's still a mess.
Now, I literally forgot to stop. I was on the phone with somebody, and I was going on and on and on. And I knew I needed gas an hour ago. But because it is highway, and I'm getting more than 10, I was able to, keep going and not run out. So now I have 20,884 miles on my truck. 21,000 miles coming up. Now I got to tell you, man, having a naturally aspirated V8 motor, no turbos, this truck is a dream. Like right now on this here, you feel those bumps because it's a horrible highway. What made them make this road like this with these plates, all these lines? Stupid. But yeah, I am very hungry. Oh, I need a zing really bad. So we're gonna just keep on driving to some point tonight, and I'll get a room, and we'll finish it up tomorrow. So that's the way.
Oh, Tim's got to get a room, guys. Tim's got to get a room. Sorry about this. I'm sorry I keep disappearing. Oh, I'm the worst streamer today. I cannot believe. I'll show you what I spilt. Hold on. I have a love for spicy tomato juice drinks. I just love spicy drinks. And so there's one that's like a Virginia Beach one. So I was enjoying one of these, like a brunchy thing, and had it here and knocked all of this nasty. It was a full glass of it too. So I knocked it all over the floor. Room sponsor. Isn't that the job of Hilton Tom? How close are we to goal, guys? We are 9 of 10. I am literally 1 away. We are almost done with Tim. And then if we get one more goal, guys, one more, that's it. Because Tim had Hilton Tom the sponsor. Tim has sponsors. Come on, guys. Don't you want to irritate Tim?
Deal goes. It's exciting, isn't it? No mountains or nothing, just a tree line with a cut. Man, I wish I could come up on that famous McDonald's arches. I'd get me a McDonald's hamburger, French fries, and a zing.
Don't you want to be the one person that makes sure all of Tim's personal business is put out for the internet to hear about his court case and all the things that he kept saying to the judge and how bad he looked?
I don't want anything but that. I'd sit down and eat a Mexican meal, celebrate my vindication, but I don't want to waste any time. I got to get down the road as far as I can.
He can't wait to get back to Florida. Virginia Beach is beautiful weather. It's an absolutely gorgeous town. There's so much going on. And he looked exhausted. I'm going to tell you that much, guys. And he looked exhausted. And he literally is now back on the road. And he obviously didn't take his little camper. So he's bought this little camper to go traveling, of which he couldn't obviously get the registration or tags or things done in a timely manner, which I knew was going to happen. So Tim's had to spring for hotel rooms this entire time. And you know Tim hates that stuff. And he makes plenty of money. And yet Hilton Tom and I guess old police Dawn had to hold little Tim's hands because, Tim can't get over the fact that people are going to show his trashy content online and make commentary around it. And for whatever reason, he thinks it's about jealousy. No, it's because you spread medical misinformation. And today you're just plain out lying to your audience about, you didn't even say where you travel. You talk about traveling all the time. And yet you showed no travel here. You could have made up a story. You could have been so much smarter about this, Tim.
Go on, folks.
Yeah, real Melvis. Let's do this.
And the truth will make you free.
Where was that?
Truth is truth. We got certain things in this country called laws. They don't always work out in your favor, but we got them. All you got to do is prove them, stipulate them. I'm doing 70 miles an hour, and some of these states they just take your picture and mail you a ticket. They don't even pull you over. Gosh, I'm yawning. Nobody else to rock me to sleep tonight.
I know that, Tim. We know that you're yawning. I have everything cleaned up, guys. So thank you for your patience. That was very messy. I got very gesticulative at one point and I just knocked it all down. And then I cussed, so I apologize about that. But my good nursing self, I just got a lot of paper towels out and started cleaning.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and get you another video later when there's something.
Yeah, that helps
looking
too.
at. Right now, I'm just gonna put on some music, relax my mind,
Yeah.
get on down the road, keep on crushing it.
Tim. Now, the other creator that just came up after Tim is another person who's getting sued for like $18,000. Okay, guys, we're so close to goal. I'll share the docket, and if we get to goal, which we're so close, we just have one. I know Melva Swell was sent $5, but it says 9 of 10 on my YouTube thing, and I so want to reach goal today. Just because I know it's fun. I never asked for gold, but Tim really does have a flat head. And yes, he does. But that's all I'll tell you. Yes! Thomas, you're so cool. 11. Well, it was not. It was $10, $20. That was the thing. All right, let's get over. I'm sure I'm going to be nice because we're so close to goal. I'm too nice. Okay. All right, you guys. So here's the. Yeah, Judy's helping me out. Yeah, you'd help me out, Judy. Thank you, Judy. Help a girl out. You know how hard it is to be a female streamer and get, and to not feel embarrassed about asking for money. It's hard. Because guy streamers do it all the time. Like I said, I had a gentleman last night who had one false flag from Jeremy Hambley, and he put out a $500 goal, of which I think he raised, and I'm not saying I'm doing that today. I'm just saying this is not unusual in the world of YouTube, guys, okay? I'm educating. And he was a streamer, and he put out a $500 goal, and I think he got probably $1,500. So I'm just saying that it's not something unusual for stream. And he just put it as a FU to Jeremy Hambley or something like that. Comment on his flat head. They did. So it actually started out. Okay. So we got there, the hearing. So there we can go. It was a contested hearing because Tim actually did show up to contest the case. That's how it becomes contested. Obviously, Tim was found. The judgment went to the defendant in the end. And it was really the judge told me to do with technicalities of the case. So, for example, for me really to have shown fair use, I would need to go to federal court and have a case tried, which gets very expensive, to say I do everything under fair use. Even though I've had an attorney state that how I, present my material is under fair use, and we know it's done under fair use on YouTube. Obviously, that would have to be argued in a federal case. So that would actually show that that was fair use. The judge had a really tough time also understanding YouTube's copyright system. It's not something they're familiar with. So there were some technicalities, but she actually told me I did a really good job. One, you have to remember that Tim attempted to try to not even come to court. So he was unable to avoid trial. And so we finally went to trial probably sometime around 10 a.m. this morning. And we probably stood and argued in front of the judge for a good hour. And I tried to explain my case as clearly as I could, in understanding that many of these judges are not familiar with the YouTube copyright system and how it can be used to actually take a person's monetized channel down. And I actually did have, and I'm going to share this email, and I haven't shared it with anybody, and I'm going to share it today because we're out of the case. And this was the 100% preponderance that I had from the beginning of this trial. And so this was really what was said by Tim back on September the 30th, 2024. And I know, Chris, Google Maps, your name is on here, and you were not obviously called it as a witness, but this is what kind of showed a potential preponderance of Tim wanting to use the copyright system in order to actually take channels down. So this was a message that Atomic Sage has saved. You might remember that. I don't mean to show Atomic Sage's email address. Sorry, Atomic Sage. They're going to get me for that one, probably. I don't think that might have been actually on their channel. So that was probably a one there. You are a misandrist. Okay. I hate men. No, not really. I talk about women too. Okay. Well, I don't like liars, actually. There's a big difference between disliking men and disliking liars. And if you take a look at my platform, I've made commentary around both men and women who spread medical misinformation. So if you think anybody who receives commentary or criticism is all about hatred, I think you really need to understand debate. I think you need to understand critical thinking. I think you need to understand when somebody is putting their public profile on YouTube, they are going to be subject to criticism. And I use them to educate people because most of these people don't know what they're doing. Offended Outcast was an SO. Jeb's journey is somebody with a history of abuse to children. My ex-husband was an alcoholic and a drug addict. So, you know, what can I say? That was on me, okay? That one's on me. Being with that person's on me. The rest of them, that's on everybody else who supports these people. Oh, yes, Anna, I'm going to make you a moderator. So I just needed to get your handle, and I am going to move you to moderator, Anna, because I know you had requested. So I am going to do that so that you can help with this. So let me get you and so that you can help these guys out, Anna, with that. Okay. So I remember that you did request it. So I am going to do that. So anyway, so this was the original thing, and September 2024. And I wish I'd cut off Atomic Sage's email address now, but it's an email address. Okay. Don't send any hate to Atomic Sage, please. They don't really put out content like they used to. You were there today, Ray? Oh, yes. The two you saw over. Yes, I did see you. I think I turned around and smiled and waved. I think I was actually quite polite. You know, you were probably there for Tim, but you know that he was there. So Doug here is obviously somebody, and I did argue my case as best as I could. He's not going to strike me because he's just going to get a counter notification, and Tim's admitted that he's never going to spend money taking me to a federal case on copyright. And at the moment, when he sends a copyright strike, YouTube or removal, YouTube doesn't issue a strike to me anymore because he's done it to me so many times. So was there a judgment? Yes. It was found in favor for Tim. And so, yeah, you will correct that immediately. There's that. Yes. You were not there for Tim? Were you there for me? Or you just happened to be in the courtroom? Were you there for... you don't have to tell me. But if you were there to support me, I appreciate it. I wish I had known. I would have come over and said hello. Other than smiling in the courtroom. Because Tim didn't look once at me. That was the weird thing. Tim didn't look at me once in the courtroom, guys. That was interesting. Well, thank you for coming in. And observing. Oh, you were there for me? Well, thank you. Well, why didn't you come over and say hi? Now I'm mad that you didn't come and say hi to me or come and sit next to me. I looked over. Oh my gosh, well, so sweet of you. Oh, well, thank you. That touches my heart. Well, thank you. I wish you had come and now I'm mad you didn't come and actually try to speak to me. And stay behind when I was talking to the judge at the end and introduce yourself. Now I'm mad at you for not saying hi properly and just having me look over and smile at you in the courtroom. Because I didn't know who was there for what. Well, thank you, Doug. That was so kind. Thank you so much. I wish you had. Now I'm mad. Because I'm obviously, It's a jurisdiction issue. No, it wasn't to do with jurisdiction, actually. Tim did not win on jurisdiction at all. Actually, he did not win on jurisdiction. He tried for the jurisdiction, and he did not get the jurisdiction because it was determined that it was not an issue around fair use or copyright. So, yes, it was not about that. Oh, Tim looked terrible. He looked exhausted. Didn't look at me? No, he didn't. He didn't look at me. Well, I was definitely shooting some daggers. Can you appeal? I don't think so, because there's going to be some technicalities. I don't really remember. Probably Doug can remember better what he was wearing. He definitely had some sort of like sports shirt on, polo and pants. So basically, Tim, if you need help with copyright infringement claims, let me know. It's a pain in the A process, but it's worth it if you can get them kicked off of YouTube. Unfortunately, Tim, I couldn't introduce this into the court as evidence. This was literally, I was trying to get this email. Tim deleted the email and the judge accepted his deletion of the email. So I could never get no, he's not 5'10". Tim was shorter than me. I was wearing probably 1 or 2 inch heels, and I'm 5'9". And he was not taller than he was not taller than me. I definitely probably looked taller than he was. What would you say, Doug? Was I taller, Doug, or Tim? Or we might have been around the same height. I'm so sad that I had support and I looked over and I smiled because I was so nervous. Oh, that I wish I'd known. Now I'm sad. Because I would have taken you guys out for a coffee. I would have loved to have taken you guys out for a coffee. I love meeting people. Okay, anyway. Okay, so it says, but it's worth it if you can get them kicked off of YouTube after they steal your content 3 times. Good news is Olive Oil, a.k.a. Lori, a.k.a. Granny, I got her copyright struck once. If you can get 2 more, she's gone. These people are nuts. Sending tips, aka buy me a coffee, to someone they don't like just to send a nasty message. These haters need a positive hobby in their lives. If they felt strongly about the hurricane, they could just send the dollars to the Red Cross. I guess they think Sarasota Tim is the governor of Florida. And then Tim says, so true. And well said, Chris. Unfortunately, I couldn't get this in as evidence. I would have had to bring Chris to the courtroom. I tried to get the email exchange. Tim said it was deleted. Thank you for offering to help me. I'm sure I could use some additional advice. I did have some videos removed via copyright. No thumbs down? Yeah, I get thumbs downs too. I did have some videos removed for copyright. I was too nice. I gave Lori a chance to delete it herself so she wouldn't get a copyright strike. I have an ideal while I'm being so generous to her. Anyway, that won't happen next time. Please contact me via my email address located on my YouTube channel. I would love to collaborate with you on helping clean up the epidemic of hate in our country. Thanks again for your generous support to buy me a coffee. So that was pretty much the reason why I really felt strongly about not wanting to, that. And he, of course, he told the judge, he tried to have the jurisdiction, saying it was a federal case. The judge determined that it was not a case around copyright. That we talked a lot about the copyright system. We weren't arguing about the copyright of a particular material. So we were able to proceed into trial. And so Tim's first motion was, fell flat. My motion to try to get that email that they had exchanged, I subpoenaed, I compelled it. He said it was deleted. That was the best I could do. There was no way. So that, unfortunately, without that email, I couldn't, really show the conspiracy. Obviously, Tim just kept saying to the judge that YouTube notified him when somebody was violating his copyright, which isn't really the case. You have to actually go into YouTube Studio. There is a thing called content detection. You go into content detection, and then you can see content that's potentially violating your copyright. Now, Tim, of course, is going to have that show up because he does have, commentary channels like myself, probably. Or he can just go in there without the content showing up and just find my video, because it probably doesn't show up because I'm not just showing his whole video. So it's probably not showing up in this content thing. And it's probably something that he's just manually going in and picking the videos. And so I think that's the biggest thing that Tim's probably doing. And he understood very clearly that if he kept doing this to my channel, he was going to get rid of me. And it's just one of these things that Tim has to understand about YouTube is that, and I have them too. I have plenty of commentators and I have plenty of people who don't like me, which I find awesome because I'm a commentator channel. So I'm not going to be out here really, apart from talking about this case, you're not going to hear a great deal about, really other than my dogs, a great deal about my life, because I'm never going to locale quite like that. You're never going to hear about my work. You're never going to hear about my job. We know he lied about Johnny Vegas and the golf clubs. We know he lied. We literally have Johnny Vegas on video stating he only lent them to Tim. That was it. And yet Tim has, had a video. Hold on, guys. I lost something important. Had a video out. Sorry, misplaced something. Saying that he didn't, that he was given. He doesn't matter. He'll go against anything. He finally had a chance to show his audience a travel video, and all he has is a video complaining about gas prices and staying in a hotel room. You going to see the hotel? No. Did you see the courthouse in Virginia Beach? No. I don't show that. I'm not a vlogger. Yeah, he's no conscience. He's zero conscience. He doesn't have a conscience. None whatsoever. And Atomic Sage, I'm sorry I showed your email address. I should have hidden that. I feel bad. I'm going to have to go back and blur that, guys. I didn't mean to reveal a email, but he might have had it on his channel before too. So, anyway, I feel bad now. Please don't send any emails to Atomic Sage. Please don't do that. If JJ is still, I don't think so. I think everybody's pretty fed up with Tim. So anyway, we get to the court, and so he does his motion, and it didn't go anywhere. Yay, real smorgasbord. Well, hey, the court, thank you for saying that. I think the judge told me I did a really good job arguing my case, and it really was a technicality, was the only reason why I did not win, because she, would need to have a court determine if I was using his material under fair use. My saying it was under fair use, and Tim saying I was violating his copyright, even though we weren't there to argue that issue, Tim was never going to say to the judge that he clearly understood 3 copyright strikes would take my channel down. And so because I don't have a Google representative to explain how copyright with their system works to terminate a channel, it would just be, and I couldn't, and I tried to produce the terms of service, but unfortunately I wasn't able to admit those into court, and Tim would not allow me to admit those to court. Thank you, Thomas. Excited delirium. I don't know how it's excited delirium. I mean, Tim may not have lost $30,000, but I think he's lost about a lot of people's, I don't have any respect for him. I have respect for myself because I know I fought as hard as I possibly could and still have to protect my business and to keep my business on YouTube. Sarasota Tim, despite sending 11 copyright removal takedowns, could not take me off of this platform. And on top of it, now, if he keeps sending them, he could be terminated by YouTube, because YouTube doesn't, really like people misusing that. They want you to then take me to federal court. But Tim understood very clearly that what he was doing. And I send the counter notification saying it's fair use. And Tim admitted to the judge, he is not going to take me to federal court, and he's not going to spend the money to protect his copyright. So have at it, guys. If you want to get to Sarasota Tim and you're prepared to do a counter notification, Tim will never take you to federal court. And he admitted it to the judge today that he would never spend the money on that. So he just had to act like he was, playing dumb, that the only thing that he knew was he was protecting his copyrighted material. But then he talked about everybody disparaging him. And I tried to make it very clear that he acted maliciously, that he conspired with other people. I would have had to bring a whole host of like I said, people from Google. It would have been like, so I did. Yeah, I feel like I really won. Thank you, Angel. Yeah, I feel I won because my channel's still here. And I still fight for the voice of small creators who want to call out medical misinformation or bad faith actors like Sarasota Tim. So quickly, moderators take the troll comments. Well, hey, that's what you have moderators for. Hey, I don't tell them what to do. Oh, here's Doug. Doug says, I think you did a good job, Ray. I think the judge didn't quite understand the case. Yes, to any court procedures. He was wearing a dark colored golf shirt and khaki pants. Thank you, Doug. Yeah, she didn't understand the case. Yeah, it was difficult because she did not understand. I would have literally have needed to bring in like a Google representative to have explained to her how YouTube's copyright system works and how 3 strikes can take somebody's monetized business off a platform. And she didn't even know that YouTube channels were monetized. I mean, she had no idea. She had no clue. And I think she realized that she's going to start hearing more of these types of cases in the future. So this was like a completely different thing. So I had a very tough time trying to introduce the evidence that I had. And I wish you'd come up and said hi to me, Doug. I turned around and you guys were gone. Oh, that was a compliment. Oh, thank you. Thank you for clarifying. It's hard to tell sometimes when you read short comments. Yeah, we were trying to avoid violating. Oh, well, you wouldn't have violated any procedure if you had stayed behind and said hi to me. I would have loved to have been able to have spoken to somebody. Oh, you guys are so sweet. And so Doug, is obviously was there. And I really did try to explain. And, Tim was really, sticking every time the judge asked him a question, he would just keep repeating that thing about the jurisdiction, even though the jurisdiction thing had already been decided. He just kept talking about this federal preemption time and time again. I was taller than Tim. I was dressed nicely. Well, thank you. Thank you, Doug. I actually had this dress on. It's kind of cases. Yeah, judges aren't familiar with. Yes. Just getting the case to this stage is a huge accomplishment. Yes, thank you, Just Me. And I hope that's what everybody can see. I mean, obviously, would it be great to come online and say, yeah, we won the judgment? Absolutely. It would be fantastic. I, worked really hard, the community support, all the people supporting me. But I feel that we did win in a lot of ways because Tim still had to come to a courtroom in Virginia Beach and be held responsible in some ways for what he did to my channel. He can talk about copyright and whatever to the judge, but we see very clearly between that exchange between him and Chris Google Maps that Tim's whole heart was just to take people down. He doesn't like people criticizing him. He thinks he's the king of YouTube. It's the narcissistic playbook. Any of these creators, I promise you, we all know I've got 3 or 4 channels who are going to say absolute absolute horrific things about me as a female. Absolutely. They're going to, call me a loser and this, that, and the other. They're going to revel in it, because that's what they do. Let them go do that. That's fine, because that's what content creators do. I can't stop them from doing that. But I know over here that I did something that nobody thought I could even get this far in doing. And that is actually having Tim have to leave his comfort zone in Florida. And he was so, I guess, angry or unhappy that he did not look at me once in the courthouse today. Not once. And so we really argued through, because there was a lot of my cease and desist from my attorneys was not permitted. Tim would not allow me. He would not permit that to be entered into evidence. So he never wanted to ever take any type of, notification that he had been a couple of times sent a cease and desist. And, he really, and then at the end, he actually asked the judge to like and subscribe to his channel, and she literally told me the only reason why I didn't win, and she told me I did a great job on my case. I'm not an attorney. And this was a lot, is because of the fact that it was a technicality. She didn't understand YouTube's strike system. She didn't understand that by him using this, she kind of understood that it was a third party thing, that YouTube didn't want to get involved with it. But, of course I said I was going to win. You have to have the mindset of a winner. Why would I enter a court case and think I was going to lose? That doesn't make any sense. And actually bringing Tim to trial is a win. That's what the whole point is that he couldn't just get away with just filing these copyrights, because that's what all these people do to creators who make any commentary. They think that they're untouchable from their little computers at the house. I showed Tim that, okay, I didn't win the judgment, but he's not untouchable. The only reason that I would cost, it was I'd have to take it. He said, because, he was able to give a defense, and because the judge did not understand the complexities of YouTube, and Tim would not allow me to admit some of my evidence in that, the judge, I don't think, really clearly understood that, because what she couldn't determine was I using his stuff under fair use? So since she didn't have something that said clearly that I was doing this under fair use from a federal court, then she couldn't decide if he was just maliciously using it, because I couldn't show that preponderance evidence in, because I wasn't allowed to admit that in, even though I had a paralegal and we were, clear that we thought this could be admitted into court, but she didn't allow that to be admitted. It was a win. Exactly. I made him show up. I don't know if an attorney would have helped, because we would have had somebody in from YouTube explaining very clearly to the judge how their copyright system works in order for it not to be hearsay. Because even with me bringing in the terms of service and stuff, I couldn't admit any of that to court. And Tim wasn't allowing me to admit anything into court, obviously, because he, obviously was going to stand up for himself and not win. So it was, I call it a win. Exactly. How does, because he, because he was acting as his attorney. So it was $500 in fuel and tolls, hotel, food. He looked terrible. He was tired. He didn't want to look at me. Oh, he was mad. So if you don't thinking Sarasota Tim angry and having to leave his comfort zone and travel up to Virginia Beach just to even lose a case wasn't a win, then you don't know what winning is. The judges aren't familiar. Yay! Oh, he won't be. No, he's not. Not really. I don't think so. Because he's never going to be a winner on this platform. Don't you understand, Lee? The thing, what you have to understand was, if you're somebody like Sarasota Tim and you go around maliciously flagging people for copyright who are commentator channels, and you think that's like kosher, it's not. Everybody on this platform thinks you're an a-hole. Everybody. The kids think he's an a-hole. And so we took him to court. Did I win? Yes, I did win, in the respect that he's never gonna, when he sent the last copyright to me, YouTube didn't even give me a strike. So if he continues and thinks that he can come back and try to do something, I told him very clearly in the courtroom this morning, I will continue, not all the time because he's boring, to make commentary about him. And I will make sure that, you know, and I know that if he's not going to get a strike on me, I'll send a counter notification. YouTube will accept the counter like they always have, because they know he's never taken me to any legal action. And we'll just, you know, so I think he's realized ever since I started taking him to court, guess what he stopped doing? Sending me copyright strikes. That to me is a win too. Thank you, Bluegrass. You're so generous. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Police Don. Hilton Tom paid for it. Yeah. Thank grown ass man. You know, I obviously, you know, getting some streamer support and love today, guys. So that's different. I'm a streamer. Tim's a vlogger. Okay. Totally different on YouTube. What I do is you know, poor old Mikey put out a video the other day saying he wanted to quit YouTube. I'm having the best time. Let me make myself a little bit bigger. I'm probably having the best time on YouTube that I've had in a long time, because we're covering more creators. We got Offended Outcast has put their videos to private. The Buy Me a Coffee is no longer taking donations. That's gone completely down. So we stopped somebody who is an SO of children from getting his Buy Me a Coffee butter. He's obviously kept his videos private because he knows he wants to make his YouTube pay date on August the 21st. And he's pretty much gone. The guy Jeb, they have all sorts of pretend drama going on, and I'm going to clarify that drama soon. The guy Mike is a complete liar about his military background, so much so that he changed his channel name. I mean, I just don't want people following. Now, if you want to follow people for the fantasy of the follow, like because you don't care that they don't have any ethics, that you don't really care that they're lying about their military past, that you don't care that they lie about how great their life is, that go ahead, go watch them. But I'm just letting you know that, you know, a lot of these folks don't have, you know, especially with the medical stuff and this carnivore diet and stuff, they don't have your best interests at heart. They really don't. So thank you. Oh no, someone timed you out. No. It's probably one of Tim's. He is a big a-hole. I'm going to make you a moderator, Ann. Don't worry. Tim's channel will continue to decline. Yeah, I don't know if he's buying views or not. I don't know. Well, Doug, I wish I had said you're gonna have to shoot me an email. We're gonna have to get up for coffee, Doug, and whoever and your spouse. Because I saw you both, you smiled. You should have come sat next to me and pretended like you knew me. I would have loved that. I'm now mad. I'm mad they didn't come up and say hi, but I'm so glad because somebody was in the courtroom, can completely verify. And I really argued my case. I really, really argued. And Tim was fortunate. The judge really didn't understand. And like I said, I would have probably needed my attorney, or I would have had to pay for my attorney. And then if my attorney would have said fair use, she would have asked my attorney, well, which court has determined Miss, Blair is doing stuff under fair use? So I literally would end up in an Ethan Klein, fair use case at a federal level, at that point. And so I, obviously did not want to do a federal case. I just wanted to tell Tim to leave my channel alone. I'm going to make commentary. And so it worked. Because he stopped striking my channel. I don't think he'll ever dare strike me again. And if he does, he could potentially lose his channel for all the times that he struck my channel. And so I just counter notify every time. I told him that in the courtroom today. It'd be embarrassing to have been Tim pulled. He'll be looking to sell the little trailer. He didn't even take the trailer with him. That's what I find so surprising. You don't think he's buying views? I don't know about that either. His views are interesting. How tall is he, Ray? I would say around 5'8", maybe. He wasn't as tall as me. I had a little bit of heel on, but he wasn't as tall as me. He looked terrible, guys. He looked very tired. Like he never looked once at me. So he was mad at me. Oh yeah, Tim hates me. I am definitely his number one nemesis on YouTube. And so if you don't think that I didn't torture this man today, then you don't know what it is. Did I want to win? Of course I wanted to win the case. I spent $5,000 on attorneys to send him a cease and desist, of which he ignored and continued to do copyright strikes. I tried to explain to Tim in a really clear legal way about, how, you need to leave my business alone. And I think I've showed to him in the best way possible, you need to leave my business alone. You need to leave me alone. You need to leave my channel alone. Yeah, he's got small feet. He was tired from the driving. Yeah, this was not a guy who's, and he was fortunate that, I kind of knew that it was going to be difficult in some ways to get the judge to actually understand how YouTube's strike system works and how that takes your channel and how that is very something that no creator wants to happen, and how it's impossible to work with YouTube once this happens. And a lot of people know that they don't want to give their names and addresses over to people. And so, and so people do use it in bad faith constantly on this platform. And so, and it's a reason, and people are always, getting scared to say anything. And so he probably hates Virginia too. Well, we got him the furthest north he's ever been in his life. What a waste of money. I could have went to actually helping someone in need. Well, I'm thinking I was the person in need of trying to maintain my channel. So that to me is not a waste of money. So thank you, Robin World. And I am a person worth it. And my trying to stop medical misinformation and preserve people's health, absolutely worth it. And it's a cost of doing business, obviously. He could have visited his daughters in Georgia on the way home. Yeah, I think so. But I don't know if he will. Thank you. I'm proud of you, Ray. Thank you. Yeah, I tried to stand up, because Tim is a bad faith actor. And I promise you, there's so many people that get harassed this way on the platform. And I don't like bullies, and I will stand up to bullies at all times. Now, people might think I'm a bully. That's okay. I actually just try to protect, more vulnerable people like children and stuff. So, and elderly, because we know that, Tim really was, I know we made a dent. He doesn't get anywhere near the support on his channel that he used to. He doesn't, even though his views have gone up, he's not gained any new subscribers. He thinks that everyone else tries to build clout off of his name. And it's not even about that. I've had more views on talking about other creators recently than talking about Sarasota Tim. And if he doesn't understand there's a whole niche of commentary on YouTube, then he doesn't know YouTube. That was always been my favorite niche, was commentary. And if you've got a big mouth like me, I guess, I guess every once in a blue moon, you want to talk about it. Just got here. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I didn't realize I had support in the courtroom today, and this couple looked so nice. And I was sitting there all nervous, and I turned around and I smiled. And I assumed because they were sat behind Tim that maybe they were somebody who knew Tim, but no, they were there to support me. And I really love that. So thank you so much, Doug, and your spouse. I really wish you had stayed behind and introduced yourselves to me, because I would have loved to have treated you to a cup of coffee and had a chance to talk to you about the case. So I hope you get in touch. I would love, I still want to try to get something together. If I ever make it to be a big 10,000, if I ever get the $10,000, sorry, not 10,000, the 10K goal, and the channel makes a considerable, profit, I would have a party. Unlike Sarasota Tim. See, Tim has never even had a meet and greet for his audience. Tim's just probably upset because wasn't he supposed to be doing the wasn't the Suds the car wash place supposed to have its party today? So Sarasota Tim would have been at the party today. Yeah, he's not very tall. It can be written off. Yes, has helped so many of your viewers. Exactly. Yes, exactly. I promise you, I had already written those court case costs, or the cease and desist were written off in my taxes last year, obviously. Like Tim, I'm a queen of a write-off. And anything involving this, it's all a write-off. Anything that Tim does, my driving back and forth to court, it's a write-off. Not that I'm looking for write-offs, and I certainly wasn't looking to go and yay, David, for my efforts. Thank you. That's so generous. You make me blush. And Doug was there. Doug, I have some. I wish Doug had talked to me now. I'm so mad at you guys. Because I would have loved to have spoken to you. And you look like you recognized me. That's what was so funny. It's like, I'm sure. And I look much different in person. I think I look a little better in person. Everybody says. That was amazing, David. And you have been a wonderful support. And we, have been through this journey with Tim for a long time. And tomorrow night, I am going to do a members only. So look out for that. And we'll have a party, the members, and just chat about everything and the court case. And I'll try to remember all the details. But all I can really remember is Tim never looked at me. He obviously got denied his jurisdiction. So he didn't win that. Jurisdiction was in Virginia. It was difficult for the judge to really understand YouTube's copyright system and how that could affect somebody's business and how it could affect my business. I tried I tried everything I potentially could. And I'm sure Tim is happy he's not having to obviously pay the judgment, but I'm sure he's still angry I made him travel. And he knows that I'm going to stand there. And I told him, I actually said in the courtroom about him talking about his, sorry, my thing's going above my head. I apologize. Cholesterol numbers and his LDL and his medical misinformation. And that I wasn't going to stop making commentary on him. But yeah, so I kept it pretty feisty, guys. New York Dan said, say the trailer is still at the dealership. Did you notice Tim claimed he was waiting for them to fix it, or did he get the money back? Smells like another faker. Do you guys know my email address? Because I kind of put that private. Just think about what my title of my channel is, and then gmail.com. thelifeandvibe@gmail.com. Send me an email. I don't have it on the channel, but send me an email so we can get together and I can take you guys out for coffee, please. I'd like to take you out for coffee and meet up, because I only I waved. I'm so glad I actually turned around and smiled. I didn't look unfriendly. But yeah, I really, that would be great. I would love that. I would really enjoy that. I wonder if he had gone a little better with the first judge. Did this judge have to tell him to clam up? No, I mean, I was probably the one who was told to have to clam up because I was really trying to argue my case. Tim looked just exhausted. All that Tim had in his mind was just to keep repeating the fact, even once jurisdiction was established, Tim just kept repeating this thing about federal exemption and just kept repeating that sovereign citizen thing over and over again. I think the judge was actually being quite kind because he just kept saying that. I think she almost wanted to probably give me the case just for him saying that continuously. He wants his privacy, folks. That's why we're here talking about it. And we already knew, Sharon, didn't we, that he had left town. We knew he had left town. We knew. I hope Dolly makes a video about the case. I hope that none of us talk any more about the case. And only not like that, but just in the respect that just Tim's content is so boring. Has he put anything else out since this morning? I didn't really watch what he was watching. He couldn't wait to get out of Virginia, guys. I mean, Virginia Beach is beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. The weather is gorgeous. And yet he didn't even stop. There's literally a McDonald's across the street from the courthouse. And he did not even stop. You'll get this. Oh, yeah. I got past it. Like, even, when the judge gave the thing, I tried to get a continuance to see if I could actually bring witnesses in. But, that wasn't going to happen because I'd already dragged Tim from Florida. We knew it was you. Oh, I actually left my glasses in my car, believe it or not. So I had my heels on. So I had to turn around and run back to my car to go grab my glasses. That's why I was like 2 minutes late inside the courtroom. So I had to run and then put my flip-flops on and carry my heels and run into the courthouse. So that was great. They fell out of my handbag, I guess. And oh my gosh. So I had a great start to trial. But luckily I was a couple of minutes early, so I had enough time to turn around and run around and go grab. And I know often the first things they do are the things with the attorneys first. So I was like, Virginia Beach is for lovers. Yeah, it is. Oh, yeah, he pulled the sovereign thing the whole time. It's like he just kept saying about this federal exemption and stuff and about, disparages me. He's so upset. She says the most terrible things about me and disparages me. Tim, you've said some gross things about haters and all sorts of stuff on your channel, too. You just don't talk about your haters as much as you used to. Oh, well, we brought Tim to court, but Tim got the judgment. I didn't win the judgment because it was a technicality, the judge said. Maybe 5-8. Yeah, he could have stayed longer in Virginia. Left a bad taste in his mouth. Well, he probably didn't like the fact he had a female judge. He probably didn't like that fact. He'll lose a lot of viewers because of his lies. Oh, that's what I'm saying. If people want to be part of his cult, that's what I said. If you want to be, watching a creator and in reality that, they really weren't a great person, but they're going to be here on the platform telling you how to live your lives, because it's amazing how many of these people seem to have advice for everybody else. And then when you examine their lives a little bit closer, none of our lives are perfect. But the thing is, I'm not trying to tell people the advice of the world. I'm not sitting here on my couch saying I've got the answers to everything, the answers to retirement, the answers to any of it. And I certainly don't think Sarasota Tim has the answers. And to have stood there in the courtroom this morning and talk about his 30 million viewers or whatever, and that how he's so famous and successful and stuff on YouTube. I didn't say anything like that, Obviously, I'm not. But neither is Sarasota Tim. Promise you. Most of the big creators, if you went to any really major creator on YouTube and asked them who was Sarasota Tim, they'd be like, Sarasota who? They would have any idea, no clue who Sarasota Tim is. Ray is gorgeous. Oh no, I promise you, God, I need some filters on this platform, girl. Ooh. I'm aging like the rest, like any of us. I bet Dr. Falcon Turncoat is in blind views tonight. Oh, Is Dr. Falcon? I don't have turncoats. People can like me or they don't. I know he's probably a fan of a carnivore diet. And ever since I started to talk against the carnivore diet, anybody who's a fan of a carnivore diet or a fan of any of these like homesteady guys, and I start to sort of pick apart their, backgrounds at all, like, hey, this guy says, is like telling everybody how awesome he is, but he has an aggravated DUI, like at 43. Yeah, I'm about to say, I don't think Dr. Falcon's a turncoat. Yeah. It was a gorgeous frock. Oh, thank you. It's lined, luckily. I got I tried to dress up for court. You just emailed me. Awesome. Well, we will get together. I'm off tomorrow and Saturday. I'm working all over Labor Day weekend though, but we will get together and I will take you out for coffee. You choose where you want to go. It's Tim's calcium score. Yes. Also a health expert. Absolutely. But I just appreciate you guys. Oh, thank you. Hey, I tried to look nice for court today and do everybody proud. But right when I was getting there, I had my lipstick tube open and my you can tell my hair was humid crazy today. And it popped open, it dropped, and it like went on my dress. But like I said, the judge said the only reason why I did not win the case was literally a technicality that I would have needed to have shown, that the technicality being that I literally would have needed some federal case to say that everything on my channel that I'm doing is under fair use. And that's a big case to take to court, And so that was like an Ethan Klein case. And he won about fair use. So the judge wasn't able to determine, am I doing things under fair use? And she wasn't able to determine if Tim understood what he was doing with the copyright removal system was going to harm my business, because Tim just said, no, I had copyright and I removed my copyrighted material. And we know Tim don't have copyright on shit, because I'll show you what a copyright looks like. This is what a copyright looks like. That's what a copyright looks like. Let me hide that part. Nope. That's what a copyright looks like. Okay? When you have copyright on something, you get something from the U.S. government, the Library of Congress, and you get issued with a copyright on a material. Yes, Spicy. Yeah, I'm so excited. We're going to meet up. Me too. I'm so excited. Thank you for emailing me. That made my day. Thank you for that. I can say hi now. Yeah, we can talk. We can talk about the case. He can't countersue you. No, not now, because it was ordered to trial. So no, that's just a cost that Tim's going to have to eat his ass on. Nope, that's just the cost of doing business. Did you get copyright for term Sarasota Tim? No, but it's better. I did it for a specific reason, but it may prove to be beneficial. So that's what a copyright looks like. And Tim is never going to take me to any federal copyright hearing. So he's obviously not really protecting his copyright. He just thinks he understands, copyright. He doesn't want people criticizing him. Let's be honest. He doesn't want people taking his videos and sitting there and laughing about what a doofus he's being. I mean, you put yourself out there, it's going to happen. Isn't JJ? I don't think JJ wants to deal. I think everybody is kind of just sick and tired of Tim. Tim is obviously just somebody that is going to continue putting out 4 or 5 slops of video a day. You're not going to get anything more interesting. We're still going to, once in a blue moon, we will pop it. It was too novel of a case. Yes, it was. Not enough have been tried, it seems. YouTube sucks for backing up people. Yeah, YouTube never does anything for any creator at all. They leave it to be like you have to fight for yourself, literally. And, you know, and I promise you, I put up one fight that I've put up one heck of a fight because Sarasota Tim 11 times sent me for copyright. Oh, you commend me for my attempt. Thank you. For those like myself who seemed like it was an easy win for you, was quite surprised to hear you're taking the news. Best wishes. Well, absolutely. Yeah. That's right. Something. So yeah. Tim is going to come. Well, I think he still had a comeuppance because he still had to come to court and they didn't dismiss it for the jurisdiction. He didn't get a jurisdictional win. It really was the technicality that I could not really get the judge to understand that, because Tim was never going to admit, and I didn't have obviously witnesses there. He was not going to admit that he understood that using YouTube's copyright removal system would take my business down. He knew exactly what he was doing, as you saw in that exchange that he had. He knew exactly what he was doing. Obviously, he's not going to admit that. So he lied under oath. And that's fine, because we know Tim's a jolly big liar. The one thing I know is I didn't lie under oath. I told the truth. And I know that Tim lied under oath because Tim knew exactly what he was doing with the copyright removal system. He knew because we saw it in the email. So we know. Yeah. So yeah, he didn't get his WebEx. Yep, he didn't get a WebEx. He had to come to Virginia. He's complaining about the gas. He bought a camper that he didn't need because he couldn't get it registered and taken care of in time. So he ended up having to do exactly what we said all along he should do, is just drive his truck and stay in a hotel. And he's had to spend a bunch of money on gas and time and just the inconvenience. And I can't think of a person who deserved to be inconvenienced more than Sarasota freaking Tim. Because he has struck so many channels on this platform. He struck me. He struck Zachary Michael. They've struck Darling. He took Lolive Oil's channel down. He struck Atomic Sage. He's continuing to strike Buckeye Gordon. Who else has he struck? Oh my God. Dino. He took Dino completely off the platform. Gosh, that's a blast from the past. I mean, he had so many people that he has targeted. And obviously, I was one that he just... And guess what? I countered every single one of them. And to the point now, like I said, the last time he sent a copyright strike to me was in January of this year. So he's not done a single one since. So I obviously called him on his effing bluff then, pardon my French, at the time, because, you know, so I know, regardless how it shows how far you can get with a narcissistic. Yeah. You can get with a narcissistic bully like Tim. He's a faker and a horrible person. Yeah. He's an absolute narcissistic bully. And the thing is we get to laugh about the fact that he's lying to his audience about what he was up to because it's his personal business. Well, guess what, Tim? I'm going to make your personal business known on YouTube because this is YouTube business. It's not personal. When you're a malicious false flagger and don't like people in the commentary, Tim, that's not your personal business on this platform. And that's what he doesn't understand. He just doesn't get the platform. So we're trying to teach him, guys. I'll be surprised he actually takes possession of the RV. Oh, I know. What a thing to do, hey? I mean, what a decision making. I mean, what is his process? Can you imagine? You got a court case looming in another state. So you think about purchasing a camper? You know? Hey, JJ! Was he wearing Aqua di Gio cologne or his narcissist spray? I don't think he had either on because I don't think he had time to get that ready. He looked like he looked exhausted. I mean, his eyes were extremely puffy. When you have time to show, I get your email. Oh, yes. Let me double check. Okay. I'm going to check this real fast. Make sure, Doug. Okay. I don't see it. So try, try. It's the THE life LIFE in vibe, the life in vibe at gmail.com. So it's the life in vibe at gmail.com. So try one more time, Doug, and I'll double check, because I do want to get that email before the end of the thing. So yeah, the life in vibe. I took it off my YouTube account because it's not because of getting emails from the community, which I love. It was to do with all the weird companies that want to approach you. So I had to kind of take it off from there. I hope Jason, yeah, this is. Yes, he was in a defendant costume. He definitely had like, he was wearing slacks. Definitely business casual. He looked very tired. He's not very tall. I'm taller than Tim, as I knew I would be. I'm taller than Tim, Jay. So and I'm feisty too. I think suing Tim would be a poor investment. Yes. It's a poor investment suing Tim, Tim, because Tim doesn't even come with any fun attorneys. But the point is that Tim thought he was just getting away with a WebEx back in May, and he just was having the best time ever. And he didn't, even though he has it, he's not having a great time. You know why? It still cost him money, guys. Still cost him money. It cost him money to have to drive to Virginia. It cost him money to have to stay in a hotel. It's cost him money. He had to put gas in his tank. Yes, he did. He referred to himself as a famous YouTuber. He did. He absolutely did. Didn't he, Doug? Doug can confirm that Tim confirmed that he's a famous YouTuber with 30 million viewers or something. I didn't. It's like his braggadocious self. And then he asked her to like and subscribe. I think at some points, though, he was getting nervous because I was really arguing my case. If she had understood that, because I really just wanted her to understand that, he knew that if he did this 3 times, he'd shut my business down. That's really all I wanted her to understand. If he did this 3 times, he would shut my business down. Now, if I had had somebody from Google stood in that courtroom and explain to the judge that that's how the process works, I maybe had a better case. But then Tim could have been saying, well, she was violating my copyright. And I'd say, well, I was doing it under fair use. And the judge would be like, well, who said you were doing it under fair use? And so the judge would need to have more, even though I know I'm doing it under fair use, my attorneys see I'm doing it under fair use. If I went to a court, we would argue it under fair use. Obviously, I don't have like a piece of paper that says I'm doing it under fair use. And so Tim is not going to admit to misusing the copyright system. He's just going to say, yes, it's my copyrighted material. So that's kind of where it was difficult. And obviously, he's still embarrassed about it. Because even with having, if he's spoken about it and then said he won, but then he's talking about the fact that he's just like copyright striking people on the platform. And that's really bad. Hates it when he has to spend money on stuff. He really didn't say he was a famous. Yes, he did. He did say that he was like a YouTuber, like a big YouTuber or something. And the judge like, what? Judge has no clue. Judge was just surprised that that we're monetized. And I had to explain to her that people make a lot of money on this platform. And so she was saying about, digital cases and stuff. And so this is stuff that's going to start coming in front of judges more often, And so for me, for anybody in the future that tries to come from my channel, I definitely know how to legally start to protect myself, because she was telling me about the type of things that I would need to do in order to protect my business and the other types of filings that I would need to make. And that's probably true. And that's when you obviously get to be a huge business like Ethan Klein or Mr. Beast or any of these larger channels that you really do have. Because some of these channels you would not, my God, if you really hit it out the ballpark on a topic, I mean, this is beyond even Tim's. I've known people on this platform, not personally, but just, watching, that can make $122,000 in a month. I mean, the money is insane. And there's always talk about defamation and it is a wild, wild west on YouTube. And YouTube does nothing to protect small creators. And so usually a small channel like mine coming out, trying to make commentary, trying to talk about bad actors, trying to call out medical misinformation, which has always been my primary thing. You're going to get another channel trying to do what Sarasota Tim did, send, flags, which is really, frowned upon on YouTube amongst creators. Tim is not he's on YouTube, but he's not like a good faith actor on this platform. There's a ton of these people. They're usually older guys that don't like criticism. And one thing though is like making like, I want to preface the difference. Me criticizing Tim does not mean that I want to show up anywhere near Tim. I didn't even say hi to Tim. Tim didn't look at me. I didn't care. I obviously looked at him just because I could see he looked really tired. His eyes looked extremely edematous. He looked rough. He looked like exhausted. Like he didn't look good. And he did say, yeah, okay, thank you, Doug. Yeah, I got it. I got you, Doug and Sandy. Yay! I'm going to say, so good to hear from you. Let me know days and times you are free. And thank you for the support today. Oh, you guys are so sweet. I am this hyper when you meet me, by the way. I am a ball of fire and energy at all times. I'm a little spitfire. But you can imagine, I got you back. You can imagine, yeah, I hope so. And I hope he never touches Buckeye Gordon's channel again. Tim, don't touch Buckeye Gordon's channel. Okay? And if you keep talking the medical crap you talk about, I will continue to address that. I have no problem. We have a great community here. Just as much as you talk about your community, I think my community is actually stronger and more supportive than yours. Your community supports somebody who takes golf clubs from heart transplant patients. Okay? Police Dawn might be Police Dawn, but for the fact that he supports you makes me like question like why he ever had a badge. And I don't mind saying that. I wonder if he's afraid to go through tunnels. I wonder where he stayed the night if in ViBe wouldn't have needed the tunnel. Just depends. Yeah, I guess it depends. I'm thinking he probably went up I-95 and then came through Emporia. Better not speed too much. They'll give you a ticket. He's already trying to get his way back to South Carolina. Now, we don't know on that video. There's no way that Tim is in South Carolina, guys. Okay? I can let you know that last video that we looked at here. Okay. Hold on. Let me get back to here. Hold on. Hold on. There we go. Am I there? Yeah. Okay. So this particular video where he says he's in South Carolina, there's no way Tim's in South Carolina. There's absolutely no way that Sarasota Tim at this time was in South Carolina when he said he was. There's no way, because South Carolina, guys, is like 8 hours drive from Virginia Beach, or five to 6. How do I know? Because I used to live in Rock Hill. And there's no way. We got out of the courtroom 11 a.m. He is nowhere near South Carolina. That's South Carolina, him coming to Virginia Beach. That was him going to Virginia Beach. That was not him coming. This is something that he filmed. And so I don't know which direction he said he was going, but he is not anywhere near South Carolina at this time. There's absolutely no way. He would only be hitting potentially, like if he is not stopped and he left that courthouse at 11 a.m. and because we got out of the court sometime after 11, he would just be hitting Charlotte maybe now. Maybe. So that video right there is already a lie. And he's maybe getting to Charlotte right this minute. And Tim doesn't probably like to drive in the dark because he's got that dodgy eye. So he's probably already, having to look for a hotel somewhere. Yeah, he was in North Carolina, but I think that was him coming up. Was that in North Carolina? Well, he just hit into North Carolina. Lewisburg. Okay, might be heading west on 64. Been on the way to West Virginia, picking up 75 South. Yeah, I have a feeling some of those videos are we know the one in the crusher was pre-made for this morning because there's no way he was sitting in his crusher at 6 o'clock in the morning and then in a courtroom in Virginia Beach. Tim does not teletransport that way. Wonder if he's going to be hitting rush hour. Oh, rush hour around Charlotte? Oh, just beautiful. Yeah, he should be hitting, like, coming down I-95 at this time of day. Horrible. Just horrible. So that's why he's been gone for days, guys. He pre-recorded that one video and disappeared. Yes, no, let me know your times and we'll just communicate by email and then we'll get it together sooner rather than later. Yes, he wouldn't be going through. Yeah, he wouldn't be going through Charlotte. Is he going to avoid Charlotte? See, I only know because I used to live in Rock Hill. So obviously I would have to, go around Charlotte to get to Rock Hill. And then obviously I lived in Charlotte too. I love Charlotte. I would live in Charlotte in a heartbeat. I love Charlotte. He was gone like 2 days. Yeah, he was. And most of his audience, I think, knows. St. Louis Scott. I can't say anything for this guy. This guy has a crush on every guy on YouTube. He's going to be sending. Hold on, let me make me small. He'll be sending money to everybody. Let's see. Did she at least offer up some helmet for your troubles? Yeah, no. Gas is way cheaper in South Carolina. Yeah, gas is good in South Carolina. You can get like full without ethanol and stuff. Congratulations, Tim. Oh, yeah, Tim. Thank you kindly. What is Tim winning? Tim got dragged to a court in Virginia Beach, so he didn't lose $30,000, but he's lost all integrity. Yeah, he's the sad retired flight attendant. That's right. Yeah, but Tim lost all integrity. So I don't see that as a win. Congratulations on the win. Justice was served today. I'm happy. Fools think they're so smart. They live off your channel. Thank you guys for all the contributions. Let me just share how much we're living today. Why not? Yay for David. We know. Yay, we're living off of Tim. Let's just make it. Because we know. Thank you guys for all the support. We're gonna let Tim know. Judy was fantastic. She's like, no, you gotta send him the Judy's like, thank you, Judy. You're awesome, girl. Yeah. Just look at you all. Look at how supportive this freaking community is. Look at Miss Mickey go. All of you guys. Just the best in the chat, man. Yeah, he never had any integrity. Let's keep seeing how everyone's so excited for Tim's win. Tim's win, of which he didn't want his personal business to be known. But we'll keep letting it be known. I'm aware of what's going on. So happy you won, Tim. Thank you, Sandy. There is a thing called justice in this country. No, the judge said the only reason why Tim won was on a technicality that I could not get it understood. about YouTube and the copyright system. But justice is being served on this community because guess who still has a channel on this platform? I like it when there's the crusher is crushed. Safe travels. Be safe. Yeah, you're not going to see any traveling. The haters got their short bus crushed. No, we didn't, Bubba. No, we didn't. Because we still get to talk about Tim. Oh, look at this. Same instrument. Oh my gosh. Isn't that the saddest group of people you have ever looked at and read in your life is the Sarasota Tim community? Oh my gosh. Look at this. 778 views in 2 hours. He's only got one downvote, of course, because we don't even take the time to downvote anymore on Tim. All right, guys. I really appreciate you guys today. Is there any other burning questions about this court case that I can answer before I head out this evening? Because I just want to thank everybody for Rock Hill. Yeah. I love South Carolina. I have a great time everywhere I go. Your sister lives in Rock Hill? I loved Rock Hill. I worked at the Levine Cancer Center for a while when I was traveling as an RN. My dad's originally from North Carolina. So, I know I have an English accent, but I was born here. Tim's half-sister lives in South Carolina. Oh. I'm just a very well-traveled Virginian. That's the only reason why I have an accent. What we got here? Let's see. Look at this. Tim's crash reviews. This is a good one. Just look at. Let's see what we got here. There's Miss Vicky. Go check her out. Look at how many downvotes Tim has. Oh, come on. Come on, Tim. This is winning, guys. Okay. Tim's got 199 likes and 467 dislikes. If his community thinks he's winning, they are seriously delusional. Yeah, we're not part of a cult. But they might think we are. No, we don't drink Kool-Aid. We drink tomato juice. And this is from a Virginia Beach company. It's Lindy's. It's a Bloody Mary signature mix. And it's the best stuff. It's got like smoke in it. And it's made in Virginia Beach. So this is a Virginia Beach. Go life and vibe. Where all the drunk drivers on 95 when you need one. Oh no, Dennis. Tim, I promise you, he looks so tired. Tim is the drunk driver. He's so exhausted too. Maybe Tim will get a room at the south of the border. Well, maybe Hilton Tom will hook him up with a room. This must be from yesterday. I'm watching at 6:05 a.m., so it can't be 6:22 a.m. Released 3 minutes ago. Pre-recorded. There you go, followers. Follow him to the destiny. He goes to Virginia. See, it doesn't matter. Whatever the court outcome was, Tim's lying is the worst thing. How angry was the victim of the ugly stick? Oh, okay. Was he talking about Tim? Because Tim looked pretty angry this morning. And he's not very attractive. Oh, I think Tim is traveling now. Mr. Baker, you should state how much you paid for the new camper. Crushed it. Body frame. Tim didn't crush anything. Tim got his ass hauled up from Florida to Virginia. Had to spend a bunch of money to answer to being an asshole. Feel bad for the guy's kids. Oh, yeah, I do too. I'm sorry, but you can't keep that Baker down. Crushed it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Says 467 people say Tim sucks. So I ventured to the hater channels. I find sad people get tore up over Tim. No, we don't. We just laugh at him. I'm sorry. Yeah. Good luck today. No, Tim, we just still need. Look, Arthur, stop the medical stuff with this absolute buffoon. His audience knows he's a liar too. So that's what's so amusing about Sarasota Tim. Did you get to see how much he made on YouTube? No, we did not get to see how much he made on YouTube. We did not. But we can probably estimate how much he's making. And at the moment, it's not very much. Oh, he's got 3.9 on this one. I'm surprised, actually. I do you think the oh, sorry. Go back. Do you think the shush. Do you think the thumbnails are helping or hurting Tim? Do you think these are helping or hurting Tim? He had some increased views here. Look at that. Meat Crasher. You know, he's got some increased views here. I mean, he's, you know, on the road again, but that's not Florida bound. You know. I joined late. How did it go? It went great. I did not win the judgment, but I did bring Sarasota Tim to court. I had support in the courtroom, and I only found that out. And now we're going to get a cup of coffee, and that's awesome because now I get to make new friends. Melvis bought me a coffee, so thank you, Melvis. Everybody has been really generous today, and this community freaking rocks, and I'm celebrating. So I'm just happy. My channel is still up. I fought a bully. I dragged a bully into court. He looked angry and pissed off as hell. And I take that as a victory. And it only cost me $80 in court costs. Now, the original cease and desist, because I was trying to be really good and legal with Tim, cost me more money. But now I know that Tim is a cheap bastard who's never going to spend on anything legal. So I'll just continue to make commentary. He can continue to try to channel strike me. I will continue to counter notify. He will continue to have them. I will continue to have them approved by YouTube. YouTube has since stopped striking my channel. So there's no reason for him to even send a copyright removal because YouTube doesn't strike my channel now. So I mean, for me, that's been a massive win. The thumbnails are helping. I think the thumbnails look cheesy. I don't like his thumbnails. I think they look cheesy. My views have increased since you started using them. See, I mean, what do you guys think about all these AI thumbnails? Maybe we should have another conversation about that one day. Because I think they look kind of tacky. I think that everybody's thumbnails are going to look very similar soon. And so that's why I've started trying to do like just a picture of somebody's face or something. Because I feel like these are looking tacky. Time for Tim to collapse in the yeah, his channel's gonna keep supporting this sad guy. He's gonna get more ancient and decrepit looking every day. Can't be honest. No, he can't be honest. At least I'm completely honest with you guys, you know? And I'm obviously, am I hiding because I didn't beat Sarasota Tim in the court case? No. I'm absolutely proud of myself. One, you guys have been awesome today. So thank you for your generous tips. That means a lot. Because it's a way to show that the community is strong. And I know it's like, and that's the thing about YouTube too, when it comes to streamers and stuff. And especially if you think that somebody's been a bad faith actor to somebody else, showing support of that creator really means a lot. So I really appreciate you guys for that because it really does help, you know. Hey, Louise, my old pharmacist friend. Nice to see you, girl. I was thinking about you, so I'm so glad you stopped in. I'm always wondering how you and your daughter are doing. Hey, Catherine, as long as you don't go down the AI songwriting road, please. No, I don't think so. I'm not very musical. Yeah, hit the likes. You don't like them either. See, I did use some like AI so I'll create my thumbnails on Canva, and sometimes I'll, prompt them up to AI to make them look a little more impactful sometimes. So I'll do that. But I have a lot of times that I find that I'm like arguing with the AI, and I don't like it. And I'd rather not use AI, to be honest, just because of sometimes, for me, it's an ethics thing. And obviously, I don't want to support companies that are, using up huge amounts of resources on the planet and stuff. So I get like, oh, so I have that kind of moment of, existential crisis about the planet. You think he's in for another round on the health? Well, obviously, we knew this case was important to Tim because he had to come to court. So he was nervous. He knew that if he didn't show up, he could lose $30,000. So, and he tried everything to get out of that courtroom today. So I feel for me, having him have to show up in that courtroom and spend money and just make his life miserable, that for me is a win. I've always said just dragging him into court, just doing this part, making him uncomfortable, was really all I wanted to do. I'm not going to be bullied by this guy. Oh, yeah, don't get me. Oh, my God. They're awful in Northern Virginia. Yeah. Looks. Oh. Oh. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so glad you're back with your YouTube family, though. I've missed you over here. I always think about you, girl. So, yeah. See, Angel Glass, we know we've been around for a long time, since the foodie days. My goodness. All right. You never severe storm warnings and flooding in Nevada got a sign. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Kevin. And thank you for your support. Yeah, I think I did awesome today. Yay, Birdie. Thank you so much for that support. I mean, hey, we've had so much fun with this court case. It is. And yeah, was I confident I was going to win? Absolutely. Because I had to be confident. Why would I enter a court case and feel like I was going to lose? It also had, you have to also think that I knew mentally I was messing with Tim too. Okay. So that was part of what I was doing. So for the last 60 days, I was mentally messing with Tim. I put a countdown to the court date. I, obviously have spoken about it when he wants this to be private and personal, because he should be embarrassed. He should be embarrassed for flagging my channel that many times. Keep calling me a hater, whatever you want. There is always going to be YouTube commentary. Tim is boring, so I'm probably not going to be making but so much commentary on Tim because he's really boring, guys. Yeah, the countdown was fun. Yeah, YouTube doesn't allow the strikes to go through any further. So yeah, so if Tim sends anything through, I don't get struck anymore because YouTube is like, shoot, it's been 11 times now. She counter notified every time you never came back with any federal action to show us. Yeah, we're not striking her now. And he keeps doing that. He could be terminated from the platform. YouTube's really bad about doing that, but I'm just saying there's always that potential of it happening. I bet he was mad. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. They had to do all of that effort to argue for an hour in the courtroom. And I just had to drive 20 minutes down the road. And he kept trying to get the web access and he was being denied. So you can imagine, like, right at the end, when he tried for his last attempt to get like it dismissed and it wasn't dismissed. And he ended up having to make decisions about how to travel because Tim hates any of that. Tim is a selfish person. He didn't want to do anything for his family or his kids. So all of that to me is a win. Why doesn't he stop at his daughter's house? Maybe his daughter doesn't want him there. We haven't seen him at his daughter's house since he had issues with getting a gold wing. So I don't know. Because remember they were supposed to go to like Dollywood and they were supposed to do all these different things. And Tim wouldn't spring for a ticket to Dollywood, but then he would turn around and spend $30,000 on a motorbike and then leave Georgia on the motorbike. And then I understand he wanted Miss Tammy to drive him back to Georgia and she wouldn't do it. This is just hearsay. and that he had to take a plane and fly back to Georgia. If I was his daughter, and that's what my dad was doing on the time that you had taken the time to give him the campsite and all this stuff and talked about Dollywood, I wouldn't want to have much to do with that absent fucking father either. Pardon my French. I don't think he's not even going up to see Teddy and Jolene up in New York. Yeah. So all of his audience can assume that, all that Tim got was not getting sued $30,000. What Tim hasn't got is me off this platform. And we know that's the only thing that Tim really wants gone is me. And I'm not gone. So that's for me is a win at all times. He probably made too many demands on his daughter and husband wasn't having it. If he's traveling, he'll be nowhere near. No, he won't be anywhere near her house. Yeah. Yeah, he has no priorities for his kids. I mean, that's what I could not understand. He went to visit his family in Georgia. Obviously, they had to leave because they needed to do something with, I think, the grandson. So Tim took the campsite. And then they did all these hiking trips and stuff. And Tim was fine when it seemed to be all about Tim. And then all he could do the whole entire time he was in Georgia was think about a motorbike. That was it. That's all he could think about. Grandson sprayed him with a jet ski. Yeah, that was funny. That was funny. That was hilarious. That's what I'm saying. Learn to stop YouTube policies. Well, that's the whole thing. I think he's still trying to strike Buckeye Gordon, so he needs to stop that nonsense. Just stop it, Tim. Your material is not under any actual copyright. It's just video slop and crap that you pop out 15 times a day. That's why we make fun of you. It's because you put out so much worthless, terrible, pathetic content, and you've got these people that glaze your ass in your comment section. But in reality, it's just crap that you put out. You have no expertise in Social Security. You have no expertise in health. I know the doctor told me today, or the judge told me I wasn't an expert in health because I'm not a doctor. And I actually was a bit upset with the judge on that because certain things about, there are a lot of legal nurses who do legal work. And to sort of say that about my licensure, yeah, I'm kind of irritated with the judge about that. But, that's, neither here nor there. Thank God she's not my patient. The jet ski video is one of my favorite. Buckeye is such a big threat. Yeah, Buckeye Gordon is such a huge threat to Tim. Just a massive threat. But he keeps striking this poor guy's channel. Because Tim thinks he's going to control the narrative on this platform around him. That's Tim's goal. He's gonna have these sad group of guys who hang out in his comment section telling Tim he's such a hero. Tim's no hero. We know Tim's not a hero. Tim's not a hero. This is not a hero. Congratulations, Tim. What did Tim win? I'm still on YouTube. All Tim didn't get was sued for $30,000. That's it. Tim was facing $30,000. I made it scary enough for him that he had to move up to Virginia to this court case. Eddie doesn't want him around. Oh, well, as I said, I did not get the judgment because the judge didn't really understand. It was basically on a technicality. She told me that I argued a very good case, that I did really well bringing this case because it was a complex case to court. So I did a good job. And you have to think, I was able to use a long arm statute to actually bring Tim from Florida to Virginia to face this statute hearing. And he didn't win on his jurisdiction. The case went to trial. It's just that she didn't understand really how YouTube's system works as far as 3 strikes, your channel's gone. And so I probably would have needed like a Google representative there to explain very clearly to the judge how YouTube's copyright removal system was using. Tim obviously was never going to admit to the fact that he had actually used the system to try to get rid of me, even though we have all the evidence and we know that's what Tim was trying to do. And so those are very hard things to prove. Whether I was using his content under fair use, again, that would be a federal case. So there were just some technical issues that made it so the judge would not have felt, comfortable giving me the judgment because it could have easily gone to an appeal. So based on those technicalities, she did give Tim the judgment, but he was not able to argue for jurisdiction. So it still went to a trial. She did, I think at one point she did kind of catch him in the understanding about the copyright, but Tim just kind of stuck to his guns that this is his copy. He did the same thing with JJ. This is my copyrighted material, which Tim has not copyrighted one thing. Okay. He does, just because he pops that slop up on the internet doesn't mean that he necessarily has copyright. The only way you can have copyright. Well, you have fun. Well, have fun over there. Well, you have fun. I'm not going to do any, I'm not going to interrupt your evening. So you guys have fun. I'm going to be hanging out with the puppy dogs. But I hope you guys tell me another time when you're here. It's beautiful over there. Yeah, have fun, guys. Tell them I said hi. I know it's beautiful over there. I love that. It's a good place to hang out. It's a beautiful day too. I don't even think I'd have to valet. One of my friends' mums has a little house over there. You're hanging out with your 3 pups? Well, I'm hanging out with you guys. All of my friends are at work and all of that stuff. So as I'm saying, so, Tim's community is, hanging in there, but we will continue to laugh at Tim and Tim's audience. I mean, Angel Mission gone. I think once Tim was found out to have taken golf clubs from a heart transplant patient, Angel Mission pieced out at that point. It's just Bubba. This person, this guy, he gets his cards from St. Louis Scott. He's got a crush on Mikey and Tim and whoever that is. So that's it. The pie judging math was too much for Tim's brain. If it's not about Tim, it's not going to happen. But he has no personality. I'm with your 3 cats and 3 rabbits. Yeah, Tim just doesn't like me disparaging him. So let's make sure we disparage him a couple of more times before I finish this stream, guys. So I really do feel like I did well. I really do, because nobody thought I would even get this far. I mean, would I have loved to have won? Of course, just to have really had him feel some type of penalty for all the harm he did on other people's channels on this platform. And like I said, it wasn't just about me at the end of the day. I think about all the other creators that Sarasota Tim strikes. It's not just me. He's done it to so many other creators. He's a massive effing bully. And he looked sad and pathetic in the courtroom to me today. Maybe he didn't, I didn't succeed with my judgment, but I succeeded in bringing him to a courtroom. And like I said, I would have had to have had probably, like I said, a Google representative. And do you know how much it would have cost me to have got somebody from Google to have showed up in a courtroom in Virginia to explain to a judge how YouTube's copyright system would have worked? Because she only had it from me and from Sarasota Tim. And Sarasota Tim always lies. That is just one thing that we all have to understand as a community. He doesn't care if he lies in front of the judge. He told them that he was on a fixed income and had physical hardships. Yeah, he still managed to bring himself to a courtroom when he knew it was a $30,000 judgment. So Sarasota Tim is a liar. So yeah. Glad to be here with everyone. It seemed like it would be forever to get here. I guess he wasn't giddy over the judgment. I subpoenaed Google. No, I've never subpoenaed Google. No, I would have to have subpoenaed Google. That's what I'm saying. I would have had to get like a Google representative in to have explained to the judge how Google's copyright strike system works. Because, I mean, it's bad. They shouldn't be having it that you get these 3, and Google's a hot mess anyway. YouTube is a hot mess. A lot of people are talking about the fact that the monetization programs have changed. And Tim is just a really shite creator on YouTube. He just doesn't care. He doesn't do any streaming. He just is here to put out 4 or 5 slops a day. And, you know, I think the less we talk and cover him, the more it potentially could affect his views. Because I think it would be good as a community. I know that I'm probably only going to talk about him rarely, just because he's so boring, guys. And there's so many more interesting characters to talk about. So we're going to talk about way more interesting characters. Lots of them. I promise you. There's a guy literally drinking ivermectin, thinking he's curing bladder cancer. And then he said, oh, it's gone away. And then the blood clots came back and then they went away. And I'm like, oh, none of this is a good sign. His truck is almost empty. Yeah, the judges are going to have to learn about social media. Yes. No, I'm not kidding. Yeah, the judges are going to have to understand social media because, and the problem is like, I had all the terms of service to try to explain to her, and I wasn't allowed to admit any of them into court, and Tim wasn't going to ever permit me to admit anything in because Tim's just going to save his ass. But his ass isn't really saved. He saved 30. I mean, yeah, he didn't get the judgment. I didn't lose 30. I didn't win 30, you know, because it was, but Tim lost money having to go to Virginia. And that was the important thing. Nice carnivore diet, hamburger, fries. How do you think he's 5'7"? Maybe 5'7", 5'8". Oh yeah, I can claim that all my taxes too. Yeah, I got his ass to Virginia. Absolutely. And that made him very unhappy, very mad at me today. And you know what? I'm mad at you for falsely flagging my channel 11 times. So I'm glad you're mad, Tim. That to me is a win. Facebook is getting bad too. Lots of censoring for normal pages. Well, yeah, it's all sorts of weird stuff. Oh, I gotta let some of my friends know what went on. People are like, I haven't heard from you. What went on? So, because obviously I have a lot of friends. A lot of people are supporting me in the background on this case, you know. And I want to thank everybody who was supporting me and helping me in the background. You know who you are. And we just had a good time with it. You know, we made sure that, you know, Sarasota Tim's life has not been very comfortable since March of 2026. He has been having to have this lawsuit hanging over his head since that time. And he's looked tired. And he tried to not show up to court a million times, and it failed. And the win for me was just getting him into a courtroom. Just getting him into the courtroom in order for him to understand that you don't get to bully me. And I told him very clearly in that courtroom today that I will continue to make commentary around him, and I will continue to do it under fair use. And I told him that very clearly in this courtroom today. So there you go. I'm proud of myself. Oh, he's very unattractive. He's a dumpy looking old man. If I saw him as a female, he had edema under the eyes, very puffy, very tired. He looked tired. He doesn't look like a man who is in great health at 67 years old. He looked very tired. He definitely looked very tired. Probably because he'd been having to drive from Florida to Virginia into a strange big city, into a courthouse. And that's exactly the type of uncomfortable that I was happy to give Sarasota Tim. So even though he's not having to, see, that's the thing that his community, because Tim's hidden it all, in the background and not wanting to talk about it. And he's like, you won. No, he didn't win. Because I still hauled him into a courtroom in Virginia. And that's what he doesn't understand. Oh, God, no way. I wish. He was staying up. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, he might have stayed in a hotel. Yeah, I made him drive 1,800 miles. Yep. And however much money he had to spend, he didn't have to get an attorney or whatever to defend himself in this case. But it was really about the fact that I needed to do something to stop him from just being stupid with the copyright. It was just ridiculous. And I think this stopped him. And if he tries again, you know what? Maybe I take him to a federal court next time. Who knows? Maybe something happens and my parents pass away and I inherit all that money they promised me. Not that I want my parents deceased. I'm just saying. That would be the only reason why I would have extra money. And that's a long way away. So that's not even something I consider. So I'm just saying. Anyway. All right, guys. I think I'm just starting to talk absolute, nonsense at this point. And Tim has not put out any material. And so you can sue him again. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. If he tries any nonsense or tries to say anything about me, I'll get him for defamation. Hairy Knuckles. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, well, I know, but even one night in a hotel is one night too many for Tim. Just taking Tim out of his comfort zone. I didn't have to come out of my comfort zone. I didn't have to go to Florida. I didn't have to do any premeditation or anything. I literally was able to bring him to Virginia to answer to this stuff. And like I said, it's very difficult because the judge, would have had to have, seen more clearly about YouTube and its takedown system. Because I think that was the hardest thing too, was that technical part of explaining to the judge how YouTube uses copyright and then how it has 3 times and then you lose your channel completely. And I think that was a very hard thing for her to kind of get her head around. And then Tim obviously was never going to confess to the fact that he understood he was doing that. He's not going to say, yeah, that's what I was doing, because obviously that's me winning the judgment. So Tim was going to have to lie, which he did. Okay. So just remember that Tim lied under oath. Okay. In order to say that he just thought he was removing for copyright. And that he says this all the time, that YouTube sends me when somebody does. No, Tim, stop the lying. They don't do that. So Tim and that's the same lies he gives to that audience of his that's dwindling down to nothing. So we'll keep calling him out on his lies. When Tim comes out with another good lie, we'll make sure to call Tim out on it. But Tim, you keep being a malicious copyright flagging, malicious, person on this platform, and we'll keep calling you out. Maybe your little audience there might call us haters or whatever, because those are just the misogynists that live in your comment section. But, the rest of us on YouTube, we don't deal with that. Yes, I did win. Well, I mean, I did not win the case, but I won in the respect that Tim had to come to court. Tim was too scared to let that slide. That's another win. That's the whole thing. Tim knew that judgment was huge. And Tim knew that if he didn't drag his ass from Florida to that courtroom in Virginia Beach this morning, he was going to potentially lose that judgment. And it was going to be a difficult case for me to try, just because I knew the judge was not going to understand all the complexities of YouTube and the copyright system and how the DMCA and all of these different things, which is why it often goes off to the federal courts. Tim, though, was a cheap bastard and admitted that he was never going to take me to any federal copyright. So Tim admitted in a courtroom today that he is perjuring himself. Every time he sends in for copyright removal and I send a counter notification and he doesn't take me to court, he perjured himself on YouTube. So maybe the judge doesn't know that he signs a thing at the bottom that says that he committed perjury, but that's what you sign. So if I had the money, I could take Tim to a federal DMCA trial and get him for copyright abuse. I have the evidence to do that. So could I take Tim to federal court? Absolutely. I absolutely could take Tim to federal court for just the misuse of the copyright system. Absolutely. But it's very expensive. And he knows that too. And so that's how I called his bluff on the counter notification. This is all very significant. You learn how to navigate the court system. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's important for small creators too, because it shows that it's, that YouTube is set up in such a way that a malicious person like Tim can completely ignore fair use. Tim has no copyright. He can say his stuff is copyrighted till he's blue in the face because he put that slop up on YouTube. Until you actually hold a copyright in your hand, and take me to a federal court, you're just being an asshole on YouTube. And Tim is the biggest asshole there is. And see, the kids understand this, any younger people, they understand that Tim's an asshole. They get it, because they understand the ethics behind how you do content creation, how you treat other creators. And Tim doesn't care because Tim is just a narcissist. So we will continue to have fun with it, guys. Yeah, the win is you took his travel money out. And he hated that. Oh, he was mad at me. He couldn't even he did not look at me once. He did not even want to see what I look. He did not turn to me. He did not look at me. He kept his head forward the whole time when he was at the podium. At least I would turn. I'm sure the judge could see that he didn't even want to look at me. And that to me is a win. What says Tim save 30 and no, I didn't lose 30 because I didn't have 30 to win. I mean, I didn't have 30 to lose. Seeing Tim in the court. Yeah, I didn't really care to see Tim in a courtroom. So the man grosses me out. He's a high school dropout who peddles medical misinformation. And for some reason has a group of old dudes that continue to support him. Because they don't like women. So he is a complete narcissist. And he hates women too. Tim hates women. And I'm glad that as a woman, because Tammy probably loved to drag him in the court for all the abuse he gave her. So, and we'll continue growing on this channel. And so, and see, and Tim will continue to, look old and haggard and fight for content. Yay! Exactly. Yeah, look, I'm not unhappy. Okay. I am a very reasonable professional person. And as I said, I spoke to the judge after the case and she literally said it's a technicality. I just couldn't technically show with the evidence I had produced in court because I didn't have, I literally would have had a federal case already to say that I had used Tim's material in fair use because they just don't understand enough about YouTube and about how his actions could have harmed my business. The judge just didn't really seem to understand that. And Tim at one point kind of almost caught himself. And I think the judge almost caught him at a point where she had understood that he was doing that. But Tim was always going to say it was copyright. No, it's my copyright material, federal jurisdiction, blah, 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 blah. That didn't matter. Yeah, he hates women. Yeah, he does. Yeah, they do. Yeah, God bless Timmy. So he'll stop his copy. I hope so. I hope he'll stop messing with Buckeye Gordon. You know, I hope he will, because he's a absolute. He's such a. He's a coward. I mean, he showed up to court because he wants to save himself $30K. Because I made him scared enough about it too. You know, and that's the whole point. Scared the living bejesus out of Tim. Nothing scares a bully more than losing money. So I can't think of a better way. Yeah, Mr. Living his best life, crushing it. Cannonball ran to Virginia without his new broken mini toilet in a bed. Say hi to your daughter in Georgia, Timmy. Exactly. I know. Living his best life, guys. He's living his best life so much that he has another content creator dragging his sorry old ass up from Florida to go to court for being a malicious copyright flagger on this platform. He's about 5'7", I would say. I give him 5'7". He's shorter than I am. Tiny little fat guy. Yes, he is a good soul. So, you know, and Tim doesn't like me disparaging. He's a wee 4'9". He a tiny guy, and he was mad too. You could tell he was so mad about having to be brought to court, guys. But I was mad that he sent so many false copyright flags through YouTube. So I feel like it's vindicated. Yeah, he's got some short man syndrome. Absolutely. I feel vindicated. I absolutely feel vindicated because creators never get this far on YouTube. Small creators like me, we just get taken out by people like Sarasota Tim. And I didn't. And I'm still here. I'm still making content. And so I thank you guys for that, because I really, you know, didn't like the fact that he thinks that he can just, you know, take creators down. And guess what? He can't. He was exhausted driving. Yeah, he is a danger. He looked exhausted. You know, Tim's not like having a good time on this trip. He's not really filming content. He's not comfortable. He's not happy. He's not, you know, having a good time. The only thing that Tim won was not losing $30,000. That's the only thing that Tim won. But everything else he lost at. Because the only person that's like, you know, Tim may be happy he didn't lose $30K, but I'm happy that I dragged him up to court. So anyway, I'm going to finish it out there, guys, because I think I've rambled long enough. I want to thank everybody for your awesome support, though. We are going to start covering the court. Well, I wouldn't say that she was ignorant. I just say that she was, you know, that just, you know, there's certain things about admission of evidence that maybe I was ignorant to in order to get some of the things into the courtroom. See, I would have, and I talked to people and had cleared, like from legal people, they would be things that I could admit into court. But she wasn't allowing them. And then Tim wasn't going to allow me to admit, you know, he was going to deny me anything to the judge, obviously. And luckily I had emails of the conversations between my attorney and myself. At least I could have those admitted. And there were certain things that I was able to have admitted because, you know, obviously, you know, everything was, you know, being put under hearsay, but I was told otherwise. So, you know, but that's how that judge had her courtroom. And she, you know, didn't feel comfortable ruling because, you know, of the technicality of not knowing whether or not I am using his material under fair use, whatever. And about, obviously, somebody from Google would have needed to explain to the judge about how my business could be folded from 3 copyright strikes. And Tim did admit in the courtroom that he understood that. So we did get him to admit to the fact that he knew that if I had 3 copyright strikes, that it would remove it was a removal of a channel, but he was trying to make it sound like that's not what he was trying to do. And so I tried to explain to her, obviously, that's what and I can't read. And the one thing with court too, you can't read from your notes. You have to know it off the top of your head, which so she would be like, you can't read from that. I'm like, no, okay. So there's certain things, because it was a higher level of court, not a small claims. And I don't think I would have gotten any further with the small claims either. He knew about the court dates for months. If it were me, I would have made it a great vacation. He says he doesn't really love to travel. Yeah, he doesn't really love to travel. And blocked yet. Okay. From Tim? Thank you. Loves travel, yet when he has a chance, he wastes it. He didn't have to race back home. No, he didn't. But Tim's obviously not a happy camper. Forgive me with the pun. So as much as the people want to say he won, the only thing he didn't do was lose $30,000. But as far as I'm concerned, I won because I dragged him into a courtroom and made his life very uncomfortable. And I still have my channel. I still have my community, and we're growing. I mean, where's my banner? I had a new banner. Here we go. It was trial day. We're at 41,062 subscribers. So I really appreciate that, guys. And we are continuing to grow. And I think this is even going to help the channel grow even more. I'm timed out by a moderator? You're Melvis. I don't know how that happened, Melvis. Here, Melvis. I don't know what happened, Melvis. I don't know what happened. It might have been an accident. Sometimes people get hit by accident. Which one of you did that to Melvis? They're going to say they didn't do it, Melvis. I didn't either, unless something yeah. Sorry, Melvis. We're sorry. Yay, Dirty Jersey. Just making him do that drive made my day. Thank you, Dirty Jersey, for understanding. Thank you. That's it. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Oh, pocket block. Oh. Could have been a pocket block. Yeah. We're sorry, Melvis. Oh, no. I tried to send the super chat. It says timed down by a moderator. Oh, no. You guys are stopping the super chats. Okay. All moderators fired. It happened to, it's happened to Ann too. So, yes, exactly, Dirty Jersey. Just watching Tim have to drive, how unhappy is his spending on gas, how he has to keep it personal and private, but we're not going to keep it personal and private at all, is the best part. And I'm going to make you a moderator after this. I just needed to get your handle name, girl, so I could get you as a moderator. All right, guys. I'm going to end it out here because I'm just a rambling queen, and I'm sure nobody just wants to hear me ramble without a video or react or anything. And, but I just want to say thank you again. And we still, as far as I'm concerned, this community had a win. As much as Tim wants to talk about the haters, guess what? We're still here. We're still here. We're still hating. Yeah, I know. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the buy me a coffee. Thank you so much. Yeah, we all won. So much for that payday. Yeah. Okay, Sea Dog. Oh, you know what? Did you see the payday I actually got? Because I think you need to take a look at my super, sweetheart. I feel so much better. I didn't know your expectation. Oh. Well, that's okay. I had to keep saying, hey, I had to mess with Tim psychologically. So let's just wait and see what the government will give him. Yeah. We hate misinformation. Yes, we do. And we will fight to keep the misinformation off this platform as best we can. It happened to me too. Banned only returned because Ray is a brave court warrior. Well, that might have been an accident. And I am a brave court warrior. Sea Dog can't spell. Well, no, we know that. Yeah. Yes, send your handle name so I can add you to the moderator roster, please, because that makes it easier. Oh, Sea Dog is here. Just loves me. Thank you. I am proud of me too. And I get to meet Doug and his wife who have sent me an email. So we are going to meet up with them. So, I now have people that I'm going to meet up with and who came to support me in court today. You're in jail. I know, you're naughty. You got to go to jail. And think Tim will never stream with his audience and have this much fun like I have today, guys. Yeah. And I had to come out with the big guns, I had to come out with some hard dry bagging. Let me come out with some assets. I haven't even done that.
I simply asked. I said, I wish I could have that dry bagging. Well, I mean, you know what that is.
Absolutely. I dry bagged hard today. I didn't even dry bag. I wet bagged and I didn't even care. All right, guys. You guys are awesome. I did want to catch you up. Yeah, I think Tim's the one who's going to be more butthurt. Oh, he didn't. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, he's kind of a pain. I think he's one of Tim's guys, but I let my trolls troll all the time because I have unlike Tim, unless they're actually, gosh, I mean, I promise you, being a female who stands up for yourself, you're gonna get a lot of haters on this platform, and I'm here for it, guys. I'm here for it. Yay! It was a great live. Well, I don't know. I spilt my drink, and then I had to clean my drink. Oh, I would have never had the patience to wade through that court stuff. It was a lot to wade through, but I'm very good with paperwork, obviously having been a registered nurse. And it was, I kind of just wanted the case to be done. I mean, obviously, would I've loved to have had the judge understand, how malicious Tim has been towards me and my business? Absolutely. But I think that is something that's really difficult to get, judges to understand with this digital age. And that's going to be something, but it's good. Now the judge has an awareness. I got to introduce something to the judge that she wasn't aware of. And so I'm, setting a path and creating things for creators moving forward. And so I think it's really important because you're going to get bad actors like Sarasota Tim. He thinks I'm a bad actor because I make commentary around him. But I think Tim's a bad actor because he's unqualified. He doesn't really verify the information. He slops out content just to get views and money. And he doesn't care about what health information he gives out. He talks one day about being on the carnivore diet and the next day eating pasta. That's fine. But the difficulty is that you're trying to then purport yourself as something. What are you? You're just an old guy who accomplished nothing his entire life. The one thing you got was one viral video talking about a subject matter that you have no expertise on. So I find it interesting. Anyway, yay! Buckeye posted a video going there next. Will you give Buckeye support, guys? And we're going to add Ann to the mods, and we're going to keep going, guys. And yeah, we don't have to talk about the court case anymore. So that's, thank goodness. I'm getting tired of talking about the court case, actually. But like I said, I was excited, and yeah, of course I was, I had to mentally mess with Tim. Part of it was psychological too. And that was part of the fun that I was having, talking about how much I was going to win in court. I didn't know. I knew it was a very difficult case to argue. I know I had good preponderance that should have been accepted, but it wasn't. And Tim wasn't going to allow it to be accepted. Had it gone better, had I spent a bunch of money on an attorney? Potentially. But, that's not really, the point of the case. The point of the case was to get Tim just, to have some type of accountability for his actions. And I made him accountable because he did have to come to a court and try to prove his case. The judge just didn't really understand. We know what Tim was trying to do. So I think that's the thing that as a YouTube community, we understand. Men seem to judge much harsher. Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Women are judged so much harsher than women. Absolutely. I mean, women are judged much harsher than men. Yes, and I think often that women will judge other women really harshly, and then men don't judge their friends as harshly. But yeah, I think women just, and even on this platform as a female streamer too, it's you're gonna be on a battle, but we're here for it, guys, and I appreciate you all. So I'm gonna finish it out here, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.
Life and Vibe, thanks so much. My queen, my Sarasota Tim expert.